think our parents bought the director's cut later for some reason because we had the original. For
I don't even think I ever beat.
We had the original when we first got
when we first
the
got
first
the
PlayStation. We had
that's what they bought with
we
it.
had
they
the original Resident Evil.
And
I don't think I ever beat the first Resident Evil.
Oh, I did.
I played most of it, but I don't think I ever beat it. I remember I beat the second one, but only with Claire because I didn't like Leon because he's a fag.
That's why, like, anytime I hear like the PlayStation sound, my first is Resident Evil. Every time,
and then you hear Resident Evil.
Yes, like, every time I hear PlayStation, every time.
I remember, like, man, these graphics are amazing.
Yeah, I remember.
And now you go back and watch, and you're like, my eyes.
Yeah,
that first zombie.
Resident Evil 3 is still one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah,
I fucking love that game because it was so replayable. Because once you get through the game, you get Mercenaries mode.
Yeah,
and if you play through Mercenaries mode and you collect enough money, you can buy unlimited ammo. You can buy the rocket launcher, the Gatling gun, and there was another one, I think. But once you earn that, dude, going through the game is a lot more fun because you don't need to pick up any ammo or worry about weapons or anything because. Dude, like, if Nemesis jumps through a fucking window, you pull out the rocket launcher and blow his ass up.
Dude, I played...
Just get a Game Shark.
I was going to say, I played Resident Evil. Now, I had beat it like 3 times without it, okay? So don't call me a cheater. But, like, I thought, what happens when you have a Game Shark? Like, how quickly can I beat this, right?
I had to beat it in an hour.
Yeah, I beat it in like 3 hours. And that's only because I wanted to play every, like, puzzle and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to do everything, even though I knew I didn't.
I used to get so frustrated with the second one because I was like, because the puzzles always confused me.
Yeah.
Mostly because, like, of the graphics. Like, you're like, sometimes you didn't notice certain things walking through a room because you know how it is, like, in those old games, like, the whole background looks like fake as fuck, but then there's, like, this one shiny object. You're like, that's definitely a clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
or
it wasn't
you got to do something with it.
It wasn't always the case in those games because that's what confused you probably is because it would be dark. Like,
and you're just running along walls, hitting X.
Yeah,
because like, something's gonna trigger
you'd
here.
Stop because, like, you'd be like, "Oh, that changed color," but then you'd start towards it, and oh no, it's the same color. Like, you know what I mean? You had that like fade or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but yeah,
that low resolution, man. Yeah, but you're running along walls, hitting X, hoping that you find something.
I know it's in here.
It's in
the
here.
Clue
it
said
has
here.
To be.
Imagine trying to play that now. Oh my god.
Oh, I could do it.
I think they should remaster instead of remaking the game. I think they should remaster it.
They have
update the graphics on it.
They did with Resident Evil 2. I know that.
No, they remade Resident Evil 2.
Oh yeah.
They remastered Resident Evil 1, I believe it was. I think they remastered it. I don't know because I didn't play it either. I think I have it.
Last one I played was the one where they had the weird things coming out of their heads. Was that 4?
That was 4.
Yeah, I stopped at 4.
I stopped. So I played a little bit of 1. I played 2 and 3.
Pretty fun. You should check it out.
I played 4. Me and Alec actually beat 5 together.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
It was with the one with Chris and Sheva.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is Sheva was such a good character.
Weird family.
Huh?
That's the one with the weird family. Which is the one that has
the
the weird family?
Weird family.
I watched
no, that's Resident Evil.
Oh yeah.
That's 7, ain't it?
7? Is it 7?
Where they are in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 7. I'm pretty sure.
I watched him play that.
It is 7
and
because
then
6
I did
is with Leon.
with the VR.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's 7.
Just to see what it was like.
It's called Biohazard.
Wasn't a fan.
I
don't like that immersive experience.
Well,
you should do Resident Evil 4 with that.
I bought Resident Evil 7, the Biohazard.
Take a gummy.
I bought it and I was like, I played through like most of it or half of it or something. And I hate the first person thing, man. I can't stand it. I'm like, I want a third person view. I'm like, I don't need to be scared. You know what I mean? I don't need jump scares in my face or whatever.
How I found out I don't like VR horror is Brookhaven.
Evil Within.
I have that game.
See, and when the first
like
time I played it,
well,
the first time I played it was at Scene 75.
Mm.
And I was like, hell yeah, that's right up my alley, right? So they geared me up or whatever, but something happened when they were like uploading the game because like my dude standing there like he's got weapons. There was nothing in my hands. I had nothing but a flashlight. And I'm getting like assaulted. So I'm like beating them with a flashlight, right? And they're like, hold on, we got your gun coming. And I'm like, anytime now. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I hate this, right? And then they finished it or whatever. I did my whole whatever time. And Jack was really little. I can't remember. He was like maybe 3. And he must have been standing there watching me, because when I got done, he's like, "Didn't like it, Mama?" No, baby, I did not like it.
Dude, I have a lot of VR games. And a lot of those first-person games like that are like, they're in your face, just mauling the fuck out of you.
I think it's because it's this, right? Like, it's completely immersive. It's in your ears and everything.
In your face.
There's no, like, way to, like, get your brain, other than the cartooniness of it, to get your brain to understand that I'm not really here.
Yeah, once you get that understanding, once you get better or more used to it. You can really,
because I didn't play a lot of VR before that.
A lot of people get really motion
VR
sick.
game I'd ever played.
Yeah, a lot of people get motion sickness.
I didn't have that.
I said, well, if you continue to play it and get that understanding in your brain that like it's just the things in front of your face moving, not you or the world around you, then you'll have a better understanding.
I want one of those walking platforms.
It wasn't that.
Yet, and he plays it every day.
I want one of those walking platform ones.
Yeah, the catwalks.
Yeah, and like have like the full actually immersive.
Yeah, they're called catwalks. Yeah. They're pretty awesome. You can get one for like $1,200 or $1,400.
Yeah, I want one of those, and then do like Evil Within or something like that.
I know there's a lot of a lot of games where you can I have the motion sensors where it'll sense your feet and stuff like that. So if you want to walk, I have those. I never use them.
I think it's very dangerous.
Yeah, without one of them catwalks.
That's what I'm saying. Get one of them with the catwalk where it keeps you motion. You stare.
There's all those sensors in there and everything. Like walk. It's fine.
Yeah, I thought about getting one of those. Like that'd be really cool to have one of them and be able to play like an actual shooting game. But my dumb ass would be like, how do I dive? You know what I mean? I'd be diving off the fucking catwalk.
We'd look over and he'd be diving out of it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So
watch out for the TV.
They look cool, but I'm like, I'm getting too old for that shit. I don't think I could.
Well,
out of breath after like 5 minutes of running.
It's like one of those novelty things, though. Honestly, like how often would you play it?
Exactly.
And it's taking up an entire real estate in the corner.
Yeah. So I'd have to have a whole room dedicated to something like that. But maybe after all the kids move out. But by that time, I'm like, body ain't what it used to be.
Standing up while playing video games?
Right. I even have a stand-up desk. Like, my desk raises so I can stand up to play video games. Ask me how often I do that.
Never.
Almost never. I've done it a few times. But But recently, nah.
I'd like to have a standing desk for when I have to work at home.
That's different, though. You're working from home. Like, I can see that.
I like to stand up at work.
All right. Well, anyway, welcome back.
Hi.
7 minutes in. Going on 8.
We were waiting
for that to get over. Because I didn't want the sounds to mix and for it to sound weird if you can even hear it.
You can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear it a little bit.
Okay.
Welcome back. Don't forget to check out all the socials and stuff. And I got a little bit of internet this week. Yeah. So about Selena Gomez. Did anybody else see that?
I didn't see the whole video. But I saw where she took it down, and then I saw where she wrote, I guess you're not allowed to have empathy. Honey, it's not the empathy that we have a problem with.
It's the fact that you're a
billionaire, and you're saying, I'll do anything to help. There's a billion things you could do, honestly.
Yeah.
So put your money where your mouth is, and we'll shut up.
Yeah, so she recorded herself crying, which is something I find completely outrageous. I hate when people record themselves crying. Like, dude, you had to start crying. Like, I better record this.
Yeah. How long did you have to set that up?
Yeah, exactly.
How many takes did you take?
This is fucking pathetic to me.
I say that I'm so sorry.
Only people are getting.
She's an ugly crier too.
Children. Well, I mean, I'm not going to judge her on that. I feel like if I really get going, I'm like,
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something.
It just makes you wonder.
That's the thing. I wish I could do something. You can.
Yeah, you have a lot of money. You could do a lot.
Pay for their legal fees.
So people are
pay for them. You know,
people are really ragging on her because she essentially what she did. So she's saying that these are her people. This bitch was born in Texas. She's not from Mexico. They're not her people. I don't care what her fucking name is. You're not from Mexico. You're an American, dude. You're born in America. You're an American.
I get so tired of listening to the whole, well, this was a country founded by immigrants 200 and some odd years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't understand. It was almost 250 years ago.
Immigrants and settlers.
Yeah. So my issue with this, my number one issue with this is the fact that she recorded herself crying. I don't care if you sit back and you say, oh, well, you're not allowed to have sympathy, I guess, on the internet. Empathy. It's not that. It's that people who go out of their way to record themselves crying, that tells me it's not genuine, for one. You're doing it for clout. You're doing it for nothing other than being selfish. You're being selfish because you want people to look at you and say, well, God, I just feel so bad for her because she's crying. I don't feel bad for you. Your fucking dumbass had to hit the record button.
I just feel like if you're going to get on there and have the balls to say things like that, I wish I could do more. You literally can.
Yeah, you literally can.
If you care.
You're one of the richest stars in Hollywood right now. Selena Gomez is. She's done movies.
She's worth
She's a
$7 billion or some shit.
It's fucking astronomical. And you're sitting here, you tell me you can't do nothing? How about help them get clean water? Give them more of a reason and not want to fucking jump off border and stay in their own country.
That. If you want them to stay so badly, these are your people. Pay for their attorneys.
Yeah.
Pay for them to get their way in. Like, dude, don't sit. That is the most egregious thing to me is her getting on there. That if I was being deported, I would look at her like she just slapped me in the face. You can help me.
Yeah.
You literally have the power to.
Yeah.
And you're on there, I wish I could do more.
And that's the sad part too. She said
you literally can't.
She says that she wishes she could do more. And it's like, well, I mean, not only, yes, you can do more, but would you?
Obviously not. She took the video down.
Because as soon as you say you're worth $7 billion or whatever, like as soon as you say that, she's gonna like perk right up. Like, well, hold on a minute now. I'm not saying that I want to spend my money on doing that. Like,
people with less do more.
Oh, for sure.
So don't come at me with you wish you could do more. You can do plenty. It's selfish and it's self-righteous, and I have no patience for it.
Yeah. You feel so bad for them. Go live in their country.
Go help them. If you're going to sit there and say, like I said, if I was somebody being deported, I would be more mad at her than I was at anyone else.
Than America. Because at least America, that's their policy. That is their policy.
This is our law. We're enforcing
This is our law.
This
is our law. That you are, as an illegal immigrant, you are being deported.
And
but
by the way,
Selena Gomez is over here crying for you. I'd be bad at that bitch. Because, like, hold on. That bitch could help me.
Yeah.
She could offer up, I don't know, a few $1,000s just to help me out.
How about this? Before anybody wants to come at any one of us, it's the law, first of all. Second of all, what other country has open borders and just lets people in?
No.
Not fucking one.
None. Try to get into Australia. Just to visit, even.
Just to visit, you have to have work visas and everything else, just like we do.
Oh,
but once they expire, they will come and get your ass.
They stop you. If you have no reason to be there, they will stop you at the airport, take you into an office, and question the fuck out of you. Why are you here? Do you have enough money to be here? Do you have enough money? Do you have room and board? Who are you visiting here?
You're not going to come here and take advantage of our
Exactly. You're not going to come here and
programs.
take advantage of our system.
Yep.
That's Australia. They're fucking strict over there. Mm-hmm. They won't let you bring animals, nothing into their country. You're not
Europe
not even foreign food.
Europe is almost the same. The only thing you don't get is they allow travel because it's a big travel country. So there's a lot of travel. So if you go to like Australia and say you're traveling, like you said, they want to know, do you have enough money for your trip? They'll say like, well, where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. And they will get all this information from you. Whereas in Europe, if you say, well, I'm traveling, they're not going to question you too much.
Right.
But like if your visa expires, like somebody's computer's lighting up and saying, Karen is here illegally. Go get her.
Yep.
They have that shit under control. Whereas here we were like, nah, come on in. Yeah. And now you're mad because somebody's enforcing the law.
And I just watched another video earlier of just not that long ago, before Trump, before Biden, all that. Hillary Clinton and even Barack Obama sitting there talking about, like at a fucking rally, talking about the rules and stipulations in immigration.
And Barack Obama, to this day, now it's probably going to change, but to this day, he had the most on deportations in this
He doesn't
country.
fuck around. He's like, no, if you're not here legally, get the fuck out of our country. And Hillary Clinton was on the same page. She was the same way. Mm-hmm. They both were all about deportation of illegal immigrants. And I don't see the issue.
All of the unfavorable living conditions that they had people in, those cages and all that shit, that was from Obama's era.
Yeah.
All those pictures and everything, they came from Obama's era.
Yep. So stop trying to point your finger at Trump like he's some kind of racist.
Look, I'm not going to say I'm going to agree with every little thing he does.
No,
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a fact. I'm not. Mm-hmm. But we elected him to do something, and so far he's doing it.
He's fucking doing it.
He was elected to rattle the cart and to do all of these things that we employed him to do. He's doing it. Don't get pissed at him for that. Get pissed at the rest of us.
Don't think that this is the fucking end. After his 4-year term is up, I guarantee you that this continues.
I hope.
J.D. Vance will run. I think J.D. Vance will run for president. I hope. And it's not going to stop with Trump. It's going to continue because people are fed up. It's not just your Democrats or anybody. People are fed up with the economy, the way things are. Everything under Biden's rule was fucking terrible.
That was the worst.
It was the worst 4 years I've experienced as an adult, and I'm 38 years old.
Yeah,
this is the worst 4 years economically that I've seen.
I have seen different elections, and I'm including my childhood elections. I cannot remember.
The recession wasn't even this bad.
No, I cannot remember a time growing up where my parents talked about politics like I do at my dinner table. I cannot remember a time where it felt like life and death when you were talking about an election. And it does now. So that's a whole
really
thing
does.
right there.
Except ruin Uncle Roger and Uncle C's talked.
Oh God. Well, that was that was Roger and Keith.
No, that was Uncle Cease and Uncle Roger.
Well,
that was not
Keith.
Talked
about the differences.
Keith would just get them started.
Keith would egg on. He would bring up something.
You gotta love getting people started, though.
Listen
That shit's
to the
funny,
two of them. Oh my gosh.
But as an adult, I've never seen it this bad. And you're right. I've never seen it to the point where it's literally like we've lost friends over politics.
And by the way, that's not us
ridiculous.
telling them to leave or like I hate you, because I am of the mindset we can disagree. He and I disagree almost weekly on something, but it doesn't mean that I hate him or hate his opinion.
No, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, there's been times he's changed my mind. I've changed his mind. That's how it works.
I like it when people have different opinions because it creates conversation, and that's okay. Change my mind if you can, but don't get mad whenever my opinion is different than yours.
No.
And I wouldn't get mad at you for that. We lost friends who are our neighbors who now fucking hate us. They despise us. And it's all over politics. All because their politics don't align with ours. I didn't care. They did. I was the one. Me and my wife were the two that were like, it's fine. You know, we don't care that much. You obviously care more than we do. And it just escalated. It escalated to the point that we were like, wow, I think they're trying to not be our friend. That's what it felt like. Like, you don't want to be our friend because our politics don't align with yours. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I don't see any need for that.
My politics usually don't align with a lot of people because
that's fine. You're allowed to have different opinions.
I don't ascribe to either one. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. The most thing that I align with would be Libertarian.
Yeah, but same here for the most part.
Yeah, but I don't agree. Like when I agree with what Reagan said about government. If you can walk in and look at me and say you're from the government and you're here to help, that's the most terrifying thing you can say to me.
Yeah,
I am independent. And I'm not saying that welfare programs don't have their place and that they don't need
Some
to be
deserve
there.
a
They absolutely should.
I agree.
Welfare programs are not a bad thing, but I don't have to be scared when they say that they're suspending welfare programs because I don't take advantage of any of them. So I'm just throwing that out there as food for thought. You cannot rely on the government to take care of you. And I hope this is an important lesson that most people have learned by now.
It's true. Yeah,
I'm done.
I agree with that. Like, it's okay to have welfare.
It's okay to get that bump up to get help, but to say that is
don't rely on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're pretty much saying the government that's my career. That's how I make a living.
And everybody that is like a diehard Democrat, they rely on the government for some reason or another.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And if you need to rely on the government to live, you're not living. First of all,
it's so funny because as friend, we're like Matt started this podcast with us.
Yeah.
Again, he did the first 20 episodes or so with us.
Yep.
And he's a hardcore conservative. He's very Republican.
100%.
He's on.
He gets on us for being too lenient.
Yeah, he lives on the government because he collects disability, and even though that's true, he still votes Republican. He's still a Republican, which is wild to me because I'm like, dude, you realize that like, if the Republicans had it their way, they'd probably take away your assistance. Most of it, anyway.
Yeah, I'd say maybe most of it. Maybe it wouldn't be a full disability, but
it would be taken away.
Yeah,
but but he still firmly believes in in the Republican way. Like he's very about God and the old kind of way, like the old way, like a man should run his home and a man should make the majority of the money and things like that, and that's fine if that's what you believe. And some people, like I said, because this is America, you're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. That's the greatest thing about this country, which people are starting to lose, and they don't realize it anymore. Like this country.
That's why the TikTok thing pissed me off so much.
This country is built on freedoms.
Move on.
Yeah,
But you're literally taking away an app because people unified, and that's what got our president elected. Yeah. I'm sorry, it did. People using things like TikTok and things to communicate, and that's why they're pissed off.
Yeah, they don't like the fact that we can communicate with each other and we can stand on common ground. Which is good. That's the way the world should be. The fact that everybody, so much of the country voted for Trump, fucking makes me so happy because it helps me to not just because they've all voted for Trump, but because we're all starting to see things the same way now.
It kind of reaffirms what you're already believing. Yeah. Like you're sitting there thinking like, I can't be the only one that feels this way. I can't be. And then you talk to your friends and you're like, well, they're my friends, so they feel similar to me. So that makes sense. But then when you get on something like TikTok and realize, everybody is saying the same things.
You're like, oh, maybe it's just my algorithm. Yeah. And then you realize, no, it's everywhere. It's everybody. Mm-hmm.
So the whole agenda that was out there for so long, we collectively as a country said, I don't give a shit if you want to be a boy and you've got a dick. Yeah. We don't care. You want to do that? Fine, be that way. I don't have to say, ma'am.
And stop listening to Selena Gomez. Like, we've said this 100 times. Stop listening to these fucking morons because they don't fucking care. They don't care about you. They don't care about the state of the government because they're fucking rich.
Here's another thing.
They don't have to worry.
When it came to Tennessee and the floods and all of that stuff, where were your celebrities then?
Yeah.
They weren't helping. What happened when Maui caught on fire? They weren't helping. Oh, but Hollywood's on fire. Everybody freak out.
Yeah, no shit.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, fuck them. I was like, man, that's divine intervention right there, buddy. That right there is karma. That is karma on LA. Now, I feel bad for a lot of those people, especially the innocent ones that are like, they're losing their homes, man. That sucks. But the fact that they would, drop everything and try to support LA, man. It's on fire.
That's where I get angry.
Fuck you, man. Like, what about, what was it, North Carolina?
North Carolina, Tennessee. All those. There are still people living in fucking tents. Yeah. Well, not now, because guess what? Trump went and took care of their asses.
Yeah, he finally took care of something. And it's like
he's what?
He's
8 days into his presidency. We've already seen more movement and more important things happening in that amount of time than in 4 years.
Don't get me wrong. The way he is sometimes is extremely acidine, and the way he acts...
It's a turnoff. It's a turnoff for
people. It is, and I get it. He sounds like a moron sometimes, because the way he states things and things he was doing. Oh, he just fly a helicopter out to the ocean and pick up, drop water, blah, blah, blah. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. That doesn't work. Like
the whole third term thing. Dude, I don't know about
that's not going to happen either.
No.
And I honestly don't want Trump for a third term. I want all this nonsense.
How could he? He's going to get out and be like 90.
Yeah, well, I'm over the nonsense.
All you're doing at that point in time is you're creating more...
We don't need another term. We need you to set term limits for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Across the board.
I agree with that.
For everything.
Congress, Senate, everything, man.
Nobody should be allowed to be a career politician and make money off of my back.
It's true. I do agree with that.
I want ever-evolving politicians who are going to continue to care about my problems because guess what?
When they're out of office, whenever they're out of office, that means they're in the same position I'm in. They have to be able to support their families too.
I get tired of listening to them vote for their own vacations and their own pay and their own fuck you.
Yeah, it's bullshit, isn't it?
Even if you feel like you're like the only politician that can change things around, you still can't be creating more of a something else that somebody else can exploit.
Correct. 100%. You put it beautifully. Yes.
All right, let's move on here. I think we've dove up into that.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Our monthly tirade is over. All right, let's move on. Let's get into our creator profile. Oh yes.
I really don't know.
After that tirade, man, that's some soothing music. This fucking cast is stacked,
It
dude.
is.
Like
100%.
she already knows who the fuck it is because she opened up the tablet like a motherfucker.
Okay.
I don't know anybody's names.
So who do you guys think it is? There's so
I'm
many
gonna go
people
Brad.
in this movie.
You can say Brad.
Brad
I'm sure we've already done Leonardo, haven't we?
I
No.
don't think so.
No, we haven't done Leonardo DiCaprio.
If you say Brad, then I'll go with Leonardo.
it's Brad.
Is it?
Woohoo!
I
thought maybe if Brad would probably be another one for like other
Do
ones.
you
so.
know, like what Brad Pitt in his prime, right there, with that longer hair, looking a little greasy.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
baby.
That's one handsome motherfucker, dude.
He don't like it though.
Oh, I
He
believe
don't
that.
like that. I knew that, but it's actually in trivia too, because I knew that from other things.
Because he doesn't care about he doesn't want to be typecast as like the handsome guy.
Correct. That's why in his earlier roles, you see him playing a bad guy.
The stoner from True Romance.
He's the stoner, like the one of the in his Tales from the Crypt episode. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then he played in a couple of Lifetime movies. He was always the bad guy.
And he's a funny motherfucker too, whenever he
really
wants to
is,
be.
yeah.
Like he's extremely funny.
Yes, I love Brad Pitt.
I love him in this. I love him in Inglourious. He's the shit in Inglourious Bastards.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, Buongiorno. I want my scalps.
I love him.
He's fucking great. I mean, and so like for me to pick a movie of his is gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
Because I love a lot of his movies. Like he's one actor that like, oh, it's got Brad Pitt and I'm watching that shit.
Yeah.
Like he's one actor that's like that for me. I don't care what he's done in his personal life. All I know is the characters he plays are the shit.
Yeah.
Just like Tom Cruise. I don't care that he's a Scientologist.
Well,
I just
and
know
if you
he's
think
a
about
badass.
it, his personal life, other than knowing who he's with, he doesn't really let it.
He really does, and he's a very secretive person.
The most you knew about him was when he was with Angelina, and
And that was because she put a lot of that out there, yeah.
I mean, who? What? I blacked out.
He was probably blacked out. Apparently, he was a drunk. I'm like, well,
I've
he's
heard he
married
doesn't
to you.
smell very good.
He doesn't smell very good?
I've heard that. I've heard that he smells kind of like BO, which would really suck because I'd be like, hey, instantly turned
You
off.
imagine that he smells like nice, expensive cologne and things like that. But if he smells
So I'm
like...
telling you, like, Cool World era Brad Pitt, like Tales from the Crypt Brad Pitt, and to me that is like peak because holy shit, hello. He looks so fucking
Brad
good then.
Pitt's got the bad.
He definitely was the Chris Hemsworth of his era to me. Like I would have fucked him back then, like for sure.
Not so much. Well, I probably still would. Yeah.
I say I'd still bang him now, even at his age.
But like that 90s,
He's still a good-looking
that
dude.
90s greaser thing that he had going on
Uh-huh.
really worked for me. I'm just throwing that out there.
I love Brad Pitt.
I'm sorry. Was that expensive piece?
Oh, it's an expensive
Not his
piece.
clone, apparently.
Are you gonna kick Crystal to the couch tonight? Make room for that body pillow?
I wish I had a Brad. She'd probably sleep with it more than me. Get out of the way, Brad's sleeping here.
Could you imagine like walking in? She has like this full body pillow,
Yeah.
like those waifu
And she's,
pillows
like, sitting
or
there
whatever.
reading
And
to
she's
him.
like, there's drool all over the chest of it.
Hey Madison, this is what they do when they think of him.
Madison, you can't sit here and tell me that he's not a handsome dude.
He used to be.
He still is, even
He's
as an older
old.
dude. What is he, like 55?
You want me
You
to
can't
find
see-
this 55-year-old attractive? You want your 17-year-old to find a 55-year-old
It's
attractive?
okay to
Hey, there
think that
were
an
there
older
were
man
old
is
dudes that I
attractive.
found attractive
No,
at your
it's
age.
not.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was old dudes I found.
I used to have the
attractive.
hots for Helen Mirren,
Of course,
and she was like 70.
of course.
But it was like, but she was an attractive old lady. Like, damn, you're like,
she's a sexy woman.
she is a sexy woman, even for her age.
30 is like the highest age that I can find attractive.
Oh, he's 30. Just
No,
imagine him to be 30.
No, I'm okay.
He's aging like fine
Fucking
wine.
True Romance. That's probably like my favorite character of his. Do you know where
He's
they are?
screaming age is just a number right now.
Do you know where they are? They went to the hotel.
I liked Nicole Kidman when I was younger, so
Yeah, everybody liked Nicole Kidman though. Now, not so much.
no.
Yeah, she's
Back
one of
then
the
she
got
was
like
pretty hot.
some serious work done or something.
All right, go ahead and read it.
Brad Pitt. Early life and work. Interview with the vampire Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in an interview with the vampire 1994. Directed by Neil Jordan. Pitt grew up in Springfield, Missouri and attended 1983 through 87 the University of Missouri before dropping out just short of graduation to move to California and pursue an acting career. After playing minor television and movie roles, Pitt captured the public's attention as a charming scoundrel in the film Thelma and Louise. He followed up with such movies as A River Runs Through It, Interview with the Vampire.
He's an executive producer on Beetlejuice.
1994.
Yeah, because it's his production company, I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Okay.
Pitt then starred as a police detective in the gritty thriller Seven?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there 7 in the middle of the 7?
That's just how they write it. SE7 and then E or VEN.
No, there was no
or SV or S7 blah blah blah. Yeah. SE7. Yeah, whatever.
Why?
That's how they fucking
Don't
wrote
judge
it.
the 90s. The 90s can't be touched just like the 80s. Roll on.
Weird. Okay. And as a demented malcontent, okay, in the fantasy 12 Monkeys, 1995. For which he won a Golden Globe Award and was nominated for an Oscar. Fight Club, Brad Pitt.
We don't talk about it.
In the film Fight Club, directed by David Fincher, Pitt deliberately played against type as Austrian mountain climber Heinrich Harrer.
Heinrich.
It's Harrer. Harrer.
No, the last name I don't know how to say, but the first name is Heinrich. The first one is Heinrich.
Keep on saying it because it's making me laugh.
No, I got it. What?
Sound like a damn war.
I missed it. What are we talking about?
This character's last name is Heinrich. Heinrich.
Where's the word at? Let me see it. Apparently I missed the joke.
Where'd it go? Oh no. Right there. Heinrich Harrer.
You sound like a damn walrus. That's what you know it sounds like.
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
So you played a seal?
Let's go on.
Yeah.
Okay. In 7 years in Tibet.
You good?
Tibet.
She's
Tibet.
You good?
No. She said Tibet.
Tibet.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Technical difficulties, my.
Sorry.
Fucking
An Irish Republican Army terrorist in The Devil's Own, 1997, a modern-day personification of death in Meet Joe Black, 1998, and an underground boxer in Fight Club, 1999. In 2000, Pitt married an actress, Jennifer Aniston. The following year, he starred in Ocean's 11, a comedy caper?
Yeah, caper.
About con artists. The film was a major success and led to the sequels Ocean's 12, 2004, and Ocean's 13, 2007. In 2004, Pitt portrayed the Greek warrior Achilles.
You ever heard Achilles heel? Like, that's my Achilles heel?
Yeah.
Like, that's where
Started
that comes
sounding
from.
like she was trying to say achoo.
Achilles.
It's Achilles.
It kind of sounds like a Mexican word.
Because the only way you
Achilles.
could kill him was by
Robin Hood men in tights.
hitting him in the heel.
Achilles. Sounds like a Mexican word.
No,
Achilles.
it's not
Achilles.
Achilles.
Yeah, that's where the Achilles heel kind of thing came
That's what I
from.
said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, paired Pitt with actress Angelina Jolie, with whom he became romantically involved. Pitt continued to lend his talents to films covering a wide range of subject matter, including Babel.
Babble.
Babel. 2006, a film that traces the intersecting lives of characters from divergent backgrounds. In the period Western, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. 2007, Pitt further demonstrated his versatility. Sure. In 2008, portraying a dim-witted would-be blackmailer in the Coen
Brothers.
Burn After Reading.
Yeah. He was the best one in that whole fucking
Dude, that movie is so good. He's dancing. I use that gif a lot.
He's fucking great in that movie. And then he gets killed by George Clooney on accident.
Yeah. Still dead, though.
Still dead.
And the man who ages backwards in the poignant.
He wasn't pregnant. He was
Fantasy.
He's
The
poignant.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Benjamin.
It's a good movie.
Never seen it.
It's good.
I never had any ink in that. I never wanted to.
Chameleonic?
Chameleonic? That's a made-up word.
Chameleonic?
Chameleonic.
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 His chameleonic turn in the latter film earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. In 2009, Pitt starred in Quentin Tarantino's *Inglourious Basterds*, a World War II drama about a group of Jewish American soldiers trained to kill Nazis in German-occupied France.
Nazis.
No, it's Nazis.
No, he calls them Nazis.
He calls them Nazis. He wants Nazi skulls.
He wants Nazi scalps.
Scalps.
He said, I want my scalps.
Bitch is hardcore.
So,
Actually,
You've never seen *Inglourious Basterds*?
A little more hardcore.
Oh my god.
It's
It's an amazing movie.
You're welcome.
Huh?
He said he hated it. I'm like, watch it again.
Right now.
No, I've seen it like several times. I've seen it like
The more you watch it, the better it gets.
every time. It gets better every fucking
Is
time.
it a 2.5-hour movie?
Baseball
but
bat.
it's way more entertaining than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's way more entertaining.
I will tell you, Madison, you would like it. It's good.
It literally, it's fucking killing Nazis.
Yeah. And
Nazis.
it shows you like these Nazis as monsters, and then you're like, yeah, get his ass.
It's another Quentin Tarantino movie, but like
They
it's
changed
so
history.
fucking
He changed
good.
history in that one too.
Yeah, it's so fucking good though.
Baseball bat.
I'll be honest with you. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is probably Quentin Tarantino's worst movie.
I agree.
Still a great movie in my opinion, but it's probably his worst.
I agree.
So
The following year, Pitt provided the voice of the superhero rival of the titular
Titular
villain in the animated film
Titular.
Megamind, and Terrence Malick's impressionistic drama The Tree of Life, 2011. He played a domineering father in 1950s Texas. Pitt later scored another Best Actor Oscar nomination.
Sometimes you have to reset.
For his performance as real-life general manager Billy Beane. My God, that is a mouthful. In the baseball drama Moneyball, 2011. The film chronicles how Beane assembled... Beane. Who named their kid Beane?
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
It's not his real name though.
Whoever named their kid
How do you know?
Mr.
In the show, he says it. They're like, what's your
Well,
name?
that's
He's
his name in the show.
"Oh,
I mean,
Mr.
that's
Bean?
not his...
My name's Bean. I'm Bean.
You ever watch Mr. Bean?
Yeah, he made me. I did not like him. He was giving off vibes I did not like.
I
don't
know,
like
right?
He
I don't
literally
like.
pulls a gun out
Listen.
while living in Europe and shoots out the light bulb because he's too lazy to get up and shut the light off.
Yeah, I didn't like Pee Wee or Mr. Bean.
That's different. Pee-wee's a
Pee-wee's a
different
little.
story.
Yeah, Pee-wee's a little.
Mr. Bean is far more innocent
Yeah.
than...
I didn't like either of them. So
Kind of innocent. He's kind of a dick. Mostly a dick.
Who, Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
Totally a dick. What are you
I
talking
love
about?
it. I love it.
That's what I
in
love
the
about it.
In the hospital, when that
Uh-huh.
dude's sitting next to him with the full body cast.
Yeah.
And he's like, keeps crossing his legs and uncrossing them and
Yeah.
staring at him the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
what I can do. Like, what a dick.
I love Mr. Bean.
I do too.
all right.
He's just an asshole, but a loving
My
guy.
favorite is
I love him for it.
the
Yeah.
He's the asshole that everybody loves.
Yeah.
my favorite is the nativity scene. You ever seen the nativity
Uh-uh.
scene? So he goes to the store and there's a nativity scene, and he literally puts on like this play using all kinds of like soldier figurines and stuff, and like it starts out with him like with sheeps and stuff walking through, and they're going bah bah bah, and he's like shh, shh. And he goes through this whole thing, and it ends with an angel flying Jesus out of a war zone and into like Barbie's playhouse. It's the best. You should look it up. I'm done.
I love Mr. Bean.
Okay.
Did he play Road Trip?
No, he was in Rat Race.
Rat Race, yeah, Rat Race.
I'm weaning.
Yeah, weaning.
He was also in the first Scooby-Doo movie.
I'm in a race.
He was in the first Scooby-Doo movie.
All right.
He was also in Witches, but he was kind of a dick in that.
He was a dick in that, yeah.
He falls asleep standing up in the middle of a race.
Pitt subsequently starred as a mob enforcer in the crime drama Killing Them Softly, 2012, and as a former United Nations investigator fighting to contain a zombie pandemic in the thriller World War Z, 2013.
I did not like it. Like, people loved that movie, and I'm like, it wasn't that good.
I didn't
like it.
It was nothing like the book.
No. And that's the thing that pisses me off about it. You had a book that had an original story.
A good story.
That you could really take
with multiple
and run with.
stories.
Yeah, like that's to me, like, well, who wouldn't want a horror or a horror movie that plays out more like a historical biopic?
Yeah, and it was multiple stories. It was literally a guy going around interviewing people who had
from
survived
the Great Zombie War.
From the Great Zombie War, and it would have been just a series of stories from all these people. Like, that sounds amazing to me.
Pick
like,
3 stories and make that your movie.
Yeah.
Isn't that the movie where the girl had cancer and the zombies didn't like anyone who was just, like, already dying or whatever?
Yeah.
That's the only part of that movie I remembered is all the zombies are running around.
Don't be wrong. I think the end was cool where he like made himself sick or whatever so that they wouldn't attack him. I was like, that's smart. Okay. I thought that was a cool idea and a premise. But then the movie ended. I'm like, use that. I want to see that. I want to see the zombie war come to an end because of that.
Instead of telling a cool story like the movie or the book was made, where you've got this cool story told from survivors' perspectives, which we have never seen before.
Yeah.
They told a typical zombie story.
Yeah. And actually, in actuality, the story of his wife and shit being on that ship and everything. So originally, she was supposed to have slept with an officer and everything else to try to keep her position on the ship instead of getting kicked off and everything else. Like, it was like they were going to make her out to be like a terrible fucking person. And they didn't take that role. I was like, make it interesting. Why not do it, dude? Like, that movie just wasn't cool. Brad Pitt,
your average
even Brad Pitt was kind of like just
phoning it in.
Yeah, he kind of phoned it in a little bit.
He owed somebody.
Yeah, had to have.
Pitt had supporting roles in 12 Years a Slave, 2013, which was based on the true story of Solomon Northup.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. A free person of color who was kidnapped and sold into slavery in the mid-19th century, and in the crime drama The Counselor, 2013. In Fury, 2014, he played an American Army sergeant commanding the remnants of a decimated battalion
like war movies.
Yeah.
during the last days of World War II.
It's really good. It's got John Bernthal, Shia LaBeouf, Brad Pitt, and somebody who else is in it with them. I can't remember who the fourth guy was, but it's literally about a tank crew, like a crew of 4 guys in a tank.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
It's really good. Like, if you're into World War II movies, I
like military movies in general.
Yeah, it's really good. Then you'd probably like it.
There's very few that I've not liked.
It's super gritty and just really good. It's really good.
The following year, Pitt reteamed with Jolie. Yeah. By this time, and By the Sea, a martial drama she also wrote and directed. He then portrayed a morally grounded former investment banker in the black comedy The Big Short, 2015, about the 2008 financial crisis. In the World War II thriller Allied, 2016, Pitt starred as a Canadian intelligence officer whose wife, Marion Cotillard, might be a German spy. In 2017, he portrayed a 4-star general in War Machine, a military satire that was released on Netflix.
I remember that
movie. Was good.
That wasn't too bad.
I like that one.
Pitt later retained with...
That's actually based on a true story.
Is it?
Yeah, that's based on that whoever that general or whoever he played.
The general that he played in that?
He's a real person.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Whoops.
Cool. Okay.
We're good.
I'm talking to just him. You're always good. So.
I said I included him in it.
But you don't have to include yourself.
Okay, he's good.
Okay. All right.
Welcome.
Fuck you too, Justin.
He didn't look bothered. I was just trying to answer the question.
Pitt later.
Eric, you're good too, man.
She looked like she needed an answer, so I gave her an answer.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
Who's Keisha?
Keisha?
Have you ever seen the movie?
I have. I'm just making a joke. Like he says, I'll go. Like, who are you telling? Keisha ain't here.
Pitt later
You're all
reteamed.
Keisha.
Oh.
Pitt later reteamed with Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 2019, playing the stunt double of a washed-up actor in 1969 Los Angeles. For his performance, Pitt earned both an Oscar and a Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. Also in 2019, he starred as an astronaut searching the solar system for his missing father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, in the futuristic drama Ad Astra. You've seen that movie before.
No, I've never seen
You
it.
haven't?
You're probably thinking of Interstellar.
Where he comes back to Earth and it's like been so many years.
That's. Yeah, I believe. That's Interstellar.
I just remember bits and pieces of that movie.
Yeah, that's the one with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking confusing, but it was a really good movie.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's not confusing, but it's a thinker, I guess.
I've never seen it.
It's good.
It's on my list. I want to watch it.
It's really good. It's got
Just haven't
Casey
gotten around
Affleck, too,
to
and...
it. I love Casey Affleck.
what's her face? The redheaded chick that was in It.
Oh.
Can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either. I can see her.
Bad girl.
Yeah, that girl. But it's good. It's a really good movie. It's got it's got a really cool premise.
You know that show on Netflix, I'm Not Okay With This? It has that chick in it.
Oh, yeah.
Are they
Shit.
going to make another season
No.
for that? Why?
They canceled it for some reason.
But it
'Cause
had
people
a good
liked it.
story developing.
I know, it had a really good story.
Like, and
But
it
yeah.
left off on a cliffhanger.
This is
They-
Netflix.
Yeah.
It's because people liked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's usually
Yeah.
what happens.
They canceled.
You know what I mean?
There
You
was
make
a
story
reason. There was a reason why they canceled it. I can't remember, but it wasn't. I don't think it was anything to do with like any contract issues.
It was, well, they were trying to make the second season around COVID, wasn't it? And then they just.
It might have been COVID that killed the show. I can't remember, but yeah, that was a really good show. That was a cool, like, just cool show. It was like kind of a show about a girl with powers, but it wasn't a superhero show or anything like that.
Yeah, it was kind of given.
Had you seen it? They left it on a huge cliffhanger at the end, and it was like, they're like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
They had a great story developing, too.
Yeah, they did.
Like, I loved Santa Clarita Diet. I know you wouldn't because she's in it, but I loved Santa Clarita Diet, and they, like, fucking nixed that one, like, after season 2 or whatever.
Probably because Drew Barrymore was in it.
I'm not going to listen to your mouth. Anyway.
I would have watched it because it had Timothy Olyphant in it, because I love that dude.
show was funny as fuck.
I love Timothy Olyphant, dude.
I did too.
He's actually in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I love him too, but like him and her on, oh my god, it was so fucking funny. It was really good.
I just don't like her. She just bothers me a lot.
I guess.
I'm going to cut his
Negativity
thing short,
just.
yeah, so he doesn't get into it. Pitt's
That's why I said
credits-
her. I didn't say the name.
She was on a game show. I seen it earlier.
She
today.
who shall not be named.
Should have a list up here of people who shall not be named. What are you talking about? Whoopi
You'll
Goldberg's
see,
on
you'll
there.
see it out of the corner of your eye.
Jimmy Fallon's on there.
I've fucking seen her name. Anyway.
Yeah.
She just dropped like a poster right there. Just drops
just
it down,
of
to fuck
names
with 'em.
who shall people who
just
shall
add
not be
to it.
named. People who shall not be named. Top 1: Drew Barrymore, Whoopi Goldberg, Jimmy Kimmel.
I agree with that.
No, they just like have a button right here. It just drops it down the posters of the
Fucking
faces.
Joy Behar. I
Oh, God.
could go on for a while on this.
Yeah.
All right, Pitt's
it going.
credits from 2022 include the action romance Lost City, in which he had a memorable cameo, and Bullet Train, about a group of assassins on a High Speed Train.
Which wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty good.
That year, he also co-starred with Margot Robbie and Damien Chazelle's Babylon.
Yeah. I wanted to watch. I haven't watched that yet. I wanted to.
I haven't seen it.
But I'm not sure what it was about. All I know is like 1950s Hollywood or something. I don't know. 1940s or 50s Hollywood. Something like that. But it looked like it had musical elements, I think, in it. But it looked like a fun movie. And, I mean, it had Margot Robbie in it. And
Montague.
She was in Barbie, though, too, so...
I don't give a fuck. She can be whatever she wants to be in.
I'm not disagreeing. She is the perfect Barbie. She was the perfect cast.
She's the perfect specimen. What are you talking about? That woman is a perfect specimen.
I don't like perfect.
She's beautiful. She's sexy. She's got a great body.
She's
funny.
She's the perfect Harley Quinn.
It's like you talk
perfect
about
Harley Quinn.
It's like when you talk about Ken dolls and Barbie dolls, right? They're like that image of perfection. If I see a dude that looks like a Ken doll, I'm not interested. I don't.
Yeah,
want
but with
that.
her though,
and I don't
like
want, I don't want it in
it's
a
not
girl
just
either.
that, but it's
Not
also
that I
like
care,
I've seen her in several interviews. I've seen her like just out and about, and she seems like a really cool person.
She's a very kind-hearted
and down-to-earth
person. I think, based on what I can see, but usually they're. I mean, I just have the opinion that they're probably all assholes behind the camera. But I will say she seems lovely.
She does seem lovely.
She just wouldn't be my type if I was a guy.
I just remember the first time I ever saw her was in The Wolf of Wall Street, which, by the way, is an amazing fucking movie. If you guys haven't seen it,
I have not.
You've never seen Wolf of Wall Street? Oh,
no.
Dude, it's so good. You and Jeremiah would love that movie.
Oh, it's on my list. It's there.
It's awesome. But the first time I ever saw her, I was like, damn, she's hot. And then she got naked. I was like, phew.
She's just too pretty, I feel like.
She is extremely. But then her accent, her Australian accent, I'm like, God, perfect specimen.
I don't want perfect, though.
All right.
That's just me.
I said specimen, okay? As in, just have my kids.
A drama.
My kids.
When she put on the Harley Quinn, that's what got me.
Dude, she played that role perfectly.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
And then in the Suicide Squad, the Joker, I wish that guy would have kept playing him, though. Because he
Shut your whore mouth.
Why would you even dare?
Why?
Jared Leto is a fucking moron.
I don't give a crap about the actor. I think he acted the thing good, though.
No,
the only thing he did good.
The laugh alone.
The only thing
the laugh alone is laughable.
It was the costume.
The only thing he did good.
Like, what is that, dude?
He's
like,
literally the Count from Sesame Street.
Okay, I was speaking my opinion. You guys can back off now. Thank you.
The only thing he did good was
he's fucking trash.
The scene from the DC.
She's allowed to have her wrong opinion.
I hate every single one of you. Karen, get out.
The DC's.
I've been out.
Just knowing the other Jokers that exist out there, I'm like, he's the worst one. He's the worst one.
I don't like Batman, though. Okay? Any Batman movie that I've ever seen with Joker in it, I've hated.
But it wasn't even a Batman movie. It was a fucking Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah. You want to know what I hate about Batman movies? Batman.
The only scene he did good.
I've actually grown to like Batman a lot more over the
Batman's
years.
my favorite.
For the Joker.
Because he's not a superhero. Because he doesn't have any powers.
The only scene he did good for the Joker was that scene where
he died?
No, where in the League of Justice, where they were in like the apocalyptic,
in Justice League,
where they had apocalyptic. That was
an alright. That was a
good scene.
He did good there.
He did good there.
Yeah.
I will give him
and
props
that was
there.
because of all the backlash that he got for playing the Joker. He's like, okay, so he changed it up, and he was more intimidating.
Yeah,
he was more scary.
Yeah, it popped off.
Yeah, he did good. He did good in that. Like I was like, why didn't you just do that?
Yeah,
for that movie.
But Brad Pitt, though.
Yeah, he's not a good Joker.
Yeah, I got your message.
I know,
we keep going way off topic here.
We keep talking about everybody except Brad Pitt.
In 2024, Pitt and Clooney reunited for Woof, an action comedy in which they played rival fixers who are forced to work together. In addition to acting, Pitt headed his own film production company, Plan B Entertainment. The company partnered with several others to produce 12 Years a Slave, and Pitt won an Academy Award for his producing role when that film was named Best Picture. Pitt's involvement with Jolie in his 2005 divorce with Aniston was intensely scrutinized by the tabloid press. In 2006, Pitt adopted Jolie's two children, Maddox and Zahara, whom she had adopted from Cambodia and Ethiopia. Jesus. Respectively. The couple had their first biological child, Shiloh, in May 2006.
You know, with having two attractive parents, that child is not attractive.
It's because she's a boy now.
She is a he. Oh boy.
She decided she was a boy.
Is she an actor?
Not yet.
No, not yet. I'm sure he will be.
Okay.
He will be.
The couple, the next year they adopted a boy, Pax, from Vietnam, and in 2008 they added biological twins, Knox and Vivian. Jesus Christ.
They probably swapped genders too.
I don't know about them. I only heard about Shiloh.
Pitt and Jolie married in 2014.
She was a
but 2 years
beautiful
later,
little girl.
Jolie filed for divorce. The couple often used their celebrity status as a platform for speaking out on behalf of several
humanitarian
causes,
which is good. I'm okay with that.
Well,
like,
they were one of the couples, and you know, no matter how you feel about Angelina Jolie, she adopted like.
Oh no, I
don't.
don't think that she's a good Like, I don't think that she comes off to be a nice person.
Right.
But I think that what she does is awesome. I think that she's great. She goes over, like, she adopted how many, like 3 or 4 kids?
3.
Yeah, that were, you know, from other countries that were less fortunate and gave them a life that all of us wish we could have.
And to be fair to Brad, like, I don't know a lot about his personal life because he keeps it that way. But what I've heard through Jennifer Aniston, her talking about
he's a good dude,
and Jolie, is that the reason that they divorced was because he was adamant about wanting children, his own children, and she refused to have kids. That came out of Jennifer Aniston's mouth. So she wanted to have a career, not kids.
Right.
Whereas he wanted both, essentially.
I don't think she ever even had kids, Jennifer Aniston.
She does not. And she never wanted them.
That's fine.
So that seems like something you talked about before you got married, though.
She's another perfect specimen, though.
I'll agree with you there. But she's not like that cookie cutter, like
right? Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
she's the natural beauty.
Yeah, she is just gorgeous.
Well, so is Margot Robbie.
Yeah, but in a different way. She's pretty because she looks like Barbie. She's pretty because she's perfect.
I think that Jennifer Aniston comes off to be more of a bitch, though. She comes off as a bitch.
She seems like the kind of girl that like you don't fuck around. Like if you're not going to get away with you're not going to get away with any bullshit with her.
Right.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted Brad Pitt, and then he cheated on her ass.
All
Yeah.
right.
He wanted kids, though.
Pitt co-founded...
Get a divorce, Brad.
Pitt co-founded and was actively involved in Not On Our Watch, a campaign that directed resources to developing countries in crisis, notably the Sudanese? Sure, province of Darfur. In 2006, he established the Make It Right Foundation, a multi-million-dollar project to construct environmentally friendly homes in New Orleans, for people displaced by Hurricane Katrina. The undertaking attracted numerous high-profile architects, but it was plagued by construction issues that resulted in several legal disputes. Notably, in 2015, the foundation sued the wood supplier after several completed homes began rotting. The suit was settled out of court. 3 years later, homeowners filed a class action lawsuit against the foundation, alleging poor construction. In 2022, Make It Right agreed to pay the plaintiffs,
yeah.
$20.5 million. Pitt was also interested in art, and in 2022, he exhibited several sculptures at a museum in Finland. His brutally honest works included a miniature house assembled from tree bark and tape.
Did that represent the homes that his foundation built?
The thing about it is with most of these celebrities, they throw their money at something, but they don't really know what they're throwing their money at.
They don't. They just throw their money at it, say, here, let's support
Sounds like a good cause.
And then they put somebody else in charge of it who will hire the cheapest bullshit, blah, 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 line their own pockets, and it turns into a mess. That's why I think that you can't you can't really place them as responsible for what happened, but at the same time, you're like, you should be more involved if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess my thing is like, you know, look at what Keanu Reeves has done in private, by the way.
He never looks for any clout
and turn record on, but yeah, like, you give your money to charitable things that you know are established, you know are good to throw your money at. And if you're worried about like something like, Hurricane Katrina, then boots on the ground, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to really do something, then you better go down there and figure out what you can do.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
So here's a question. So back to the Joker thing. Who would you guys like to have as a Joker?
I think I've already
I
had
don't
him.
know. The guy who
Willem
plays
Dafoe would have made
Yeah, William Dafoe.
No,
Dafoe.
Art the Clown.
Oh,
Thornton. David
Howard
Thornton.
Green.
Or-
David Howard Thornton.
Yeah, that's what I said. David Howard Thornton.
Oh, yeah.
I still say William Dafoe back in his like younger days.
William
Not
Dafoe,
younger,
yeah.
but
I still think he'd be good at it, but
Yeah.
I would really like to see
his
David Howard
laugh,
Thornton.
and his smile, his creepy smile. William Dafoe.
David Howard Thornton can do the voice.
He can do
so-
the voice, he can do the laugh, and you put him in the right makeup, he'd be
Yeah.
perfect for it.
Yep, I agree. All right, so favorite Brad Pitt movie, go.
Oof.
Don't look at me first. I gotta look it up.
Okay,
7.
7. It's a close contender.
I'm gonna say Inglourious Bastards.
Without looking anything up, it's 7.
Not Cool World.
I wish. No, I really like Cool World,
Yeah,
but
it's definitely on my top.
he's a good guy, and I mean he's a good guy in 7 too. But you've got
He's flawed.
yeah,
very
he's
flawed.
flawed, and there's a lot of that movie's just overall amazing, and him
Yeah.
in it is amazing. So it's 7.
7. Definitely Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
He's a Nazi killing motherfucker in
Yeah.
that movie, and I love him. He's just so awesome
Fucking
in that movie.
Nazis.
Yeah.
If you ask me about TV shows, it'll be that episode of Tales from the Crypt he was in.
Well, I mean,
I'm just throwing
he's
that out
never-
there. I know
we
you
do
weren't going to
Friends.
ask.
He was in an episode of Friends.
And
He was in Friends. So.
I like that Tales from the Crypt
Megamind.
episode.
Megamind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on here. Oh man.
Let's talk about the
Go ahead.
movie.
Go ahead and get into the movie. All right. So this week we watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from 2019. Karen.
Los Angeles, 1969. Just set the stage here.
That's
TV star Rick Dalton, a struggling actor specializing in westerns, and stuntman Cliff Booth, his best friend, try to survive in a constantly changing movie industry. Dalton is the neighbor of young and promising actress and model Sharon Tate, who has just married the prestigious Polish director Roman Polanski. 2 hours and 42 minutes rated R. Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton, Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth, Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, Emil Hirsch as Jay Sebring, Margaret, do you say it Qualley or Qualley?
I think it's Quayle.
Pussycat,
Qualley. It doesn't
Timothy
matter.
Oliphant as Jim Stacy, and I mean I could keep going, but
You
we're
go
not
on for
going to.
forever. There's a lot of people in this movie.
I mean Bruce Stern, Austin Butler, Dakota
oh,
Fanning,
Danielle
Luke
Harris is in
Perry.
this movie. I didn't even realize it was her.
Yeah, she's one of the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's the pregnant one.
And that's the thing is that like they put so many people in the movie that they couldn't put them all as front runners. I mean, it's just
No, there are
just
an
fucking
assload of
everybody's in
people.
there.
I mean, hell, the girl that was in seasons 2 and 3 of You, what's her name? I can't remember her name. She was also in. She's been in a few of Netflix movies or shows. From
the one that played Love.
yeah, she played Love. She was in this as the girl doing the tour guides on the horses. And like, there's quite a few people in this movie. Watching it this time, I just realized, especially on the
ranch.
On the ranch, I noticed was like, because I knew Danielle Harris was in the movie, but I was like, where the fuck was she? I didn't see her in the movie at
It's
all.
funny because you said Love was in it, and I knew Love was in it, but I didn't know where. And then when you said that, I'm like, no wonder she looked fucking familiar.
Yeah, she's in it. There's a few of the girls, like fucking Dakota Fanning's in there, obviously.
Don't look like her though.
No.
Like, my God.
Yeah.
The girl from Scream 6 and then Robin.
Yeah, the girl from
Stranger
Scream
Things.
6. Yeah.
Or not Scream 6, Scream
Maya,
5.
fucking Maya
Maya Hawke.
Hawk, yeah.
Maya Hawke.
She's only in it for about fucking 3 minutes. Just like little roles, but like I can understand why she cast her because obviously Quentin Tarantino's worked with her mom, which is
I think Maya is a great actress.
she's a good
She
actress,
is
and she's actually a really good
she's
singer
amazing.
too.
Is she?
Yeah.
She does music too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's really good.
It's funny because she is like the perfect combination of her parents. You look at them and you're like,
Oh,
there's Uma. Nope, there's her dad.
It's so
Nope.
funny because like at some point she's pretty, and then other points you're like,
That's when you're seeing her dad.
Yeah. Well, no, because even like Uma Thurman's the same way. There's
I
points
agree.
where like, yeah, you're pretty right now, but then you're like,
I think
oh, she's
Maya-
kind of hot, and then like other times you're like, you're not attractive at all.
I think Maya though is pretty, like all the time. I don't know what the different. I think it's just a combination of her two parents, but I think she is pretty.
I think she does a great. I think she's gonna make it far in Hollywood.
I agree.
So. But man, there's so many fucking people in this movie. It's just like to wrap your head around
her
everybody.
character doesn't die in Stranger Things 5, because if she does,
I doubt she
It'd be like her. It'd be like Steve all over again. If she dies, we revolt.
Yeah.
They won't kill her off because she's essential. Not only I know she's a central character, but she's also gay in the show. They're not going to kill off the only gay character.
I don't know. Some
in the
shows
show.
really like killing off gay people.
No, they don't do that shit no more.
Not right now.
They killed off that one gay dude in Walking Dead. Just saying.
It
It's a
didn't take
different
them long
time.
either. Yeah, it was a
No.
different time. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the movie here. And or actually, hold on. Would you watch? Would you recommend?
Probably not. I don't know anyone that I would recommend this movie to.
It's definitely a very niche crowd.
Oh, you should go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool. What's it about?
I think for me, I would recommend this to people who like Quentin Tarantino movies, obviously, because he's got, what is this, his 9th or 10th movie?
Something like that.
Something like that, 9th movie. I don't remember. But
Oh,
I like...
He said he was going to put a limit on it. No, you're not.
You're right. I like this movie a lot. I really do. It's just like any other Tarantino movie. The more you watch it, the more you appreciate it. But
The more you see things.
But this is the type of movie, though, that like you really have to know 1960s, late 60s Hollywood to understand and appreciate. Like I love Westerns, man, but I don't know about all these Westerns they're referring to. And I don't know about all these other, like, The Wrecking Crew. I've never seen that movie.
I've never seen any Sharon Tate movie.
Yeah, neither have I. And all I know about from this era is the Sharon Tate stuff, like about how her being killed by the Manson family and all that stuff. Like, I know about that. Obviously, he embellishes a lot with, the Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton next door and all that stuff. Obviously, Sharon Tate doesn't die at the end, all that shit. But like aside from that, like I don't know anything about 1968, 69 Hollywood, and also I really don't care. Like I don't care that much.
I don't think you need, in my opinion, I don't think you need to know 60s era Hollywood to get what you're trying to get out of this movie.
No, what you're getting out of this movie is a changing era in Hollywood, and also an actor trying to be an actor in Hollywood, and. That I understand.
The best representation I had was there was an interview and it had Leonardo and Brad Pitt, and they were sitting there, and they said, "So what's the movie about?" And they started to describe it, and they said that it's about a washed up actor and a washed up stuntman trying to make it in Hollywood in a changing climate. And then they were like, because they were washed up actors is what they were making the joke, but they're not, but.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot you could take from this movie. I mean, the portrayal of Bruce Lee is very
Awful.
Yeah.
it's terrible. Because that's not how BruceLee was at all.
At all.
No.
Not even a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I would recommend it to certain people. I'd watch it. I actually bought it on 4K. I just got it yesterday and was able to watch it yesterday. But yeah, I would watch it again, obviously, or else I wouldn't buy the movie. But I'm also a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so I love all of his movies. This is my least favorite of them, though. I will say that.
I agree that it is absolutely his weakest movie, 100%. I wouldn't watch it again. This is my second watch. I don't think I'll watch it again.
This is my second watch, also.
And I'd recommend it to Tarantino fans, and that'd be about it. You're up.
I didn't mind it. Would I recommend it to people? Yeah, I'd probably recommend it to, a niche crowd, maybe people that like 60s movies.
Or just movies like this in general.
Yeah. But that's about it.
This is a hard recommend to people.
Yeah.
It is hard to recommend this movie to people because whenever they ask you what's the movie about, and you describe it to them, they're going to be like, I don't want to watch that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Well, you can describe it in a way that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very... with every Quentin Tarantino movie, all of his movies, his dialogue is a fucking amazing.
Brad
He has
Pitt,
the best dialogue.
Brad
The
Pitt
only
can be a
thing-
badass in it here and there. That's about it.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's easily the best part of this movie.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, Well,
anytime
I
he's
take
on
that back
screen-
because even Leonardo DiCaprio is like really good in this.
Yeah,
movie. I love him
he's
in this
really
movie.
good because he's an amazing actor. His character sucks.
Yeah,
And
Well,
anytime
yeah,
he's on
that's what I'm
screen,
saying.
I want to punch him in the eye.
Yeah.
Because he's crying.
Well, he's either crying or he's talking about how bad he has it. Meanwhile, he treats his best friend like an employee more than he
Well, he
treats him
is an
like a
employee.
friend. He may be, but that doesn't mean he's got to sit and coach when he's in first class.
Right. Well, I think that's his character though too. Like, not only is that his character, that's Clint Booth.
But
also.
does he even ask? He
I
doesn't
don't
seem
think
like he
Clint
does.
Booth cares. Like, I don't think he.
That's neither here nor there.
Right, I get it, but
He acts like an entitled brat the entire fucking movie.
he totally does. Yeah, but
And
that's
it's
an
annoying
actor.
as shit.
That's an actor, and I think
That's fine.
that screams volumes about how Quentin Tarantino feels about actors. I think he thinks they're all a bunch of whiny crybabies. That's
that's
honestly,
coming from him. That's rich.
I know. Well, he's not a whiny crybaby. He just has a true passion for his movies. Movies are just everything he loves and thinks about.
He may, but even artists have flexibility, and he has none.
Right. Yeah.
It's his way or the highway.
Yep. He's
How
not
many
as-
times? How many times have you heard? For example, here's a good one: The Mist, the ending to The Mist, good or
Yeah.
bad?
Depends on how you look at it. I think it's good.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Because it's a gut punch.
It's a gut punch, and one of the most resounding gut punches I've ever seen in my life. Now, the original book ending is not that,
No, I know.
and Kevin, Stephen King has
Even
literally come out and
has come out
said
and said
that
that
his ending was better.
That whose ending?
The ending that they had in the movie.
No, I was gonna say, yeah. He said the movie and the ending was better.
Yeah, the movie ending is better than
Yeah.
his.
He said, "I wish I would have done that."
Yeah, or I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Whatever. Quentin Tarantino would never, ever. If somebody remade one of his
Oh,
movies and
yeah.
changed something about it, he'd say it was shit, and he did it right, and nobody else could.
Nobody will ever be able to remake one of his movies until he's dead.
Oh, I want to see somebody do it and just wreck it. Just one time, one movie, and just wreck it. Make it a piece of shit.
What's his favorite? What's his most loved movie? It would
of
probably
his
be
own? This one. He calls it his magnum opus.
this one. Really?
Yep.
I would say that like his most favored.
I would say Inglourious Bastards. That is the
You think?
strongest. Yeah,
I was gonna say Pulp Fiction. It has the
It's a
biggest
very-
cult following.
Yeah, for sure. But I would say, in my opinion, Inglourious Bastards has the most heart, the best acting, and one of the greatest stories.
and the most entertaining.
Absolutely.
The most entertaining.
Absolutely. When you watch Pulp Fiction,
But nothing holds a candle to Kill Bill. Nothing holds a candle to that.
I'm
those
saying
movies.
that when it comes to, his movies, I would say Inglourious Bastards is the most universally,
Loved.
well, maybe not just loved, but it's the most universally sound movie that he's ever made.
Oh yeah.
You can take that to anybody, whether they're a Quentin Tarantino fan or they're a movie fan, or you can take that to anybody and they'd be like, this movie's great.
Yeah, this movie is great. Not just because of the dialogue. It could be the dialogue. It could be the killing Nazis. It could be the acting. It could be a lot of
Could
things.
be the
It's
comedy.
entertaining. It's
Whereas
funny.
if you think about it, every other movie he's made has a sort of niche, right?
Yeah.
So like Pulp Fiction and some of his earlier stuff, if you're not a movie goer, a big movie fan that knows some of these references and you're going to be like, this is stupid,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then like Kill Bill, if you don't have an appreciation for Asian culture and Asian things,
I do.
that may turn you off a little bit, right?
I love Kill Bill.
You see what I'm saying though? All of his other movies have some kind of niche
Yeah,
to
and
them.
I think he knows that going into directing
Sure.
his movies because he's like, this is what I'm looking for in the style of this movie, and he does that. He does really well with it. That's why I think I love Kill Bill so much because I love everything from the fight scenes, the blood. I love the exaggerated blood, right down to all of the Asian culture, the sword fights, the music especially is a big thing. The story, everything right down to the old school sort of way they filmed the whole, like all of the training montages with Paime. like a classic kung fu movie.
Mhm.
Like all those things are like they're filmed that way because he has an appreciation for those movies.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's what I think that it's his strongest suit as a director, that he understands this is what I need for this movie because that's what's going to make this movie distinct.
Yeah.
That's why none of his movies are the same in any aspect.
I have great respect for him as an actor, or as a director. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit.
I get.
He is phenomenal.
He is, but I get where you're coming from though, because he's a fucking tool bag.
Yes, he is a giant chode.
Yeah, he
And
really is. He's a pretentious prick, is what he is. He's a fucking pretentious prick.
Yes.
But he's a fucking amazing director. The sad part is he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just want to see him fail one time, just once.
I mean, this I thought really did. I really thought that this movie would have failed. I thought it would have bombed harder than it did.
Oh no, everybody's got a giant hard on for this movie.
I
for some
see.
reason.
That's the thing. I don't. I like the movie. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great movie. But like in the grand spectrum of all his movies, this is the weakest. This is the weakest of his.
And see,
movies.
the first time I watched it, the biggest problem I had with it was Leonardo DiCaprio's character and his treatment of Cliff. Like the whole time, I was just sitting there, like, "Oh my god."
I get it though, because
that wasn't my problem
don't
this
fault
time.
the movie though for this, because that's his character. I don't fault the movie for that.
No, I get that, but like, fuck, dude, he's insufferable.
Mm-hmm.
Like they couldn't have made him at least
I
likable.
love the.
There's only one
the,
time that he's likable, and that's when he does the scene with the little girl.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself rooting for him, and then like midway through, you're like, "What am I doing?" You know what I mean? Like he's a giant fucking asshole.
He is, yeah. But like I said, I think that's also how Quentin Tarantino views most actors. I think he views them like that, like they're pretentious fucking assholes.
Like looking in a mirror.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think he just views Hollywood in that manner in a way. He has this a lot of love and appreciation for it, but at the same time, I think he also understands that like Hollywood is full of garbage fucking people. It's full of shitty people.
He's one of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's just the lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Just
Go ahead.
blows my
Madison.
mind.
We gotta get through this in
Yeah.
fucking hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in
That's a 2-hour
Hollywood.
movie too.
2.5 hours.
In February 1969, Hollywood actor Rick Dalton, the former star of the 1915s Western show Bounty Law, copes with a fading career. His most recent roles begin guest appearances as TV villains. Agent Marvin Schwartz. Okay.
Shorts.
Shorts.
Schwarz. It's Schwarz. He made it a point to say.
Did he
that.
say Schwartz? Okay.
No, yeah, well, no, he said because remember Leonardo DiCaprio comes in and says Schwartz. He's like, no, Schwarz.
Okay.
So he had to correct him.
I guess I didn't hear that.
Advises him to make spaghetti westerns in Italy, which Dalton considers beneath him. Dalton's best friend, stunt double, personal assistant, and driver is Cliff Bowl Brandy. He does that in the movie.
He's the upsider force.
That's how he gets his dog to attack, which is awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
All
Him and the
build
dog
up-
were the best thing about that movie.
Yeah, all the build up to the end, like that end scene, is just it's gold.
The
Oh, it's
end scene
fucking
is amazing.
Yeah, that's gold, man.
Except for the girl screaming.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
I remember that. You wrote that down. Sadie, most annoying home intruder
She
ever.
reminded me of. She was very much
Bitch, I'm not
Texas
glad-
Chainsaw Massacre screaming, and her like. Ah! It reminded me of like a low budget, like a B
Okay,
movie.
and then she gets put like on fire in a pool. Bitch,
I know.
Duck your
I know.
head.
I thought that. I think that every fucking time I watch, every time I've seen this movie, I like just go under the water.
And fucking his reaction to her is to get out and get a fucking flamethrower when she's in your pool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
like, he just freaks out and runs out and grabs a fucking flamethrower and torches her ass. He don't know what the hell's going on. He just torches her. Sorry, we
Mhm.
jumped right to the end.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry.
Well, it's the most interesting thing. In the
It
movie.
It is.
I don't know.
The,
There's some good
ending is
stuff
just
in
the
here.
best part.
It is the best part, though. I will agree.
Except for the screaming. That about gave
Well,
me
you
a
didn't
knock.
like
I
Scream.
liked that part just because it showed like some low budget roots, like some B-rated horror movie roots. The way she's screaming and her arms are flailing around and she's freaking out.
I think she was just a crazy bitch. Did you
Well,
hear her
yeah,
talking
yeah,
in
That's
the
all.
car?
Yeah,
No, I know that.
She is.
I know
a
that,
crazy
but I'm
ass.
saying
She's
like
the most unstable one.
it
I think
put
that
me-
was their way of showing it, I guess.
it
but,
put
like,
me in the mindset of like an older or even a newer, honestly, low budget B horror movie like Terrifier or something. That's what it put me in the mind of. Like the way it was shot, her screaming, the blood, all that stuff. Like the gore factor, everything about it was
Imagine that, all those cuts getting in that
Can we
chlorine.
talk about the best?
Oof.
Can we talk about the best line in the movie? I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business. And he's like, "No, it was something stupid like Rex or something."
Yeah, he's like,
No,
it was
that
something
wasn't
stupid
it.
like Rex. Tex, like,
that
Tex.
Tex.
Yeah, he's like, that wasn't it.
No, that wasn't it.
Yeah, that was like my favorite part in the movie.
Cliff Booth, man.
The funniest thing about
Are you
it is
guys
that's what
real, man?
that's what
Are you guys like real? Are you really here right now?
that's what Tex actually said to her before
What?
she was killed. That's what he said at the house to Sharon and all them.
Oh yeah, I'm the devil and
I'm here to
be
do
shit.
the devil. I love that they turned that on its head, and he's like, "Nah, that ain't it."
No, that ain't it.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
You know that was Austin Butler.
You mean
A
Shannon?
Huh?
Sharon.
That was Shannon.
Sharon Tate.
Sharon Tate?
Oh, I'm thinking Shannon.
Shannon Tate? That'd be a different movie.
Yeah.
A World War II Green Beret living in a trailer with his pit bull Brandy. Booth struggles to find stunt work amid rumors he murdered his wife. Meanwhile, Dalton hopes to revive his career by befriending young actress Sharon Tate and her husband, director Roman Polanski, who lives
He
next
killed his
door.
wife for being a nagging bitch. Why he could kill Leonardo DiCaprio for being a piece of shit. I mean,
Yeah, but he likes Leonardo DiCaprio for
Why
some reason.
though?
I don't know.
that doesn't make any sense to me. Like they show this
the
flashback
scene-
of his wife being a
that's-
nagging bitch.
Yeah, and
And
I'm
you're
like,
listening-
I was
you're
like, but
literally-
hold on a minute.
you're literally
Did he
singing a-
actually kill her?
Allegedly.
Well, he's
Well,
like,
that's that.
it's
Quentin
so funny 'cause
Tarantino
they leave
says
it-
yes.
they leave it open because he's like sitting there with the shit pointed
Yeah.
right at her.
And then
And I'm just like-
leaves.
Yeah, and then it never shows it. I'm like, he totally pulled the trigger.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino says yes. I'm gonna go with yes because of that. But like, you literally sit in a car with a whiny bitch 90% of your time, and you're gonna kill her over being a nagging bitch?
Yeah, but she nagged at him. Like, she was always telling him how pathetic he is and this and that.
Get a divorce.
Like, Clint,
Or if
Clint-
you can kill somebody over being a nagging bitch, then you
Rick,
can kill
Rick
somebody over being
Dalton
a
didn't do that.
dumbass.
Rick Dalton had a lot of praise and he had a lot of love for Cliff.
I think that may be true, but I think Cliff was also riding his coattails a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
He knew he had a
Yeah.
job and all that, but then again, he lost the job at some. I don't
They're just friends, man. They're just like being around each other.
I don't get
Getting
it.
drunk and smoking acid dip cigarettes together.
Only one of them smoked the acid dip cigarette.
You
Maybe
like
that's what I should do
real,
to,
man?
to see colors. No,
I love whenever he turns on. He's like, "Oh no,
Yeah. No, that was a bad idea.
Bad
Bad idea.
While fixing the TV
get
antenna atop Dalton's roof, Booth notices a hippie man arriving at the Polanski residence. The man, Charles Manson, says he is looking for music producer Terry Melcher? Sure. Who once lived there, but Tate's friend Jay Sebring turns him away. Later, Booth gives a hitchhiker named Pussycat a ride to Spawn Ranch, a former Western film set where Booth did stunt work. Booth checks on Octogenarian, thank you. George Spahn, the ranch's nearly blind owner, making sure the hippies living there are not exploiting him. After discovering his car's tire had been punctured, Booth physically forces ranch hippie Clem to.
He punches him several times.
Forces.
Several times. Can I at least get a rag to wipe my face off, man?
After
No.
the
No,
tire.
after the tire. I'm like,
I mean,
yeah.
but how are you gonna slash someone's tires and then expect them to leave?
Well, that's what I didn't get either. I seen the slash tire and I was like, that's dumb. If you guys want him gone, that's a perfect way to make him have to stay.
Right after we watched that movie, I watched the episode where there was of It's Always Sunny, where there was a van, like a trailer parked outside their
The
bar, and they wanted to get rid of it, and Charlie kept saying, well, just slash his tires, get him to leave. And I can't remember if it was Mac or Dennis that said it, but they were like,
Probably
can't
Dennis.
do that, because then they won't leave, they'll be stuck here.
Right.
And I'm like, they're so right. So why did they slash their tires in that movie? So
Just to piss him off, I guess. I don't know. That dude's dumb. And then he sat there and giggled about it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know that guy or what he's capable of.
Right.
And then what happened? You got punched in the face several
Right.
times.
Well, you got to think. Usually, there's Charlie there or Tex. They're used to being able to do what they want when they want.
Mm-hmm. And Tex, he was the only one who was apparently had any balls because they went and got
He
him.
was
like,
number 2, baby.
yeah, he was the enforcer or something. Even though really he would have gotten fucked up. Well, he did get fucked up.
yeah.
Really.
He
Got
did.
fucked up by a dog.
When did that happen? Now it's something stupid like Rex or something.
Something stupid like Rex or something.
Like, I was
Tex,
like,
what are you
I
gonna do?
know
Oh,
you.
Tex, that's what it was.
I know you. I know all of you.
What's funny though is he never saw Tex. He never saw
Yeah,
it.
because
At
Tex
the
came
very
out and introduced
beginning,
himself,
right?
and then
Yeah.
he left to go because they said, "Oh, go."
okay.
She wants you to go case him.
Yeah, that's
So he
right.
went and cased him, and then he left.
Okay.
All right. Tex is summoned to deal with the situation, but Booth is driving away when he arrives.
I wish I would have seen Tex just try to intervene before he left.
You get
I will
fucked
say
up.
though,
Yeah.
for me too, that is another great scene. Is at Spawn Ranch when he goes to Spawn Ranch because he senses something wrong there.
I
Yeah.
like that too because there's a lot of tension building there too.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's the only link you really have in this movie between the Sharon Tate murders, other than him living next door. The only link you have to the main story
Yeah.
is that he went to that ranch because he sensed something wrong with that girl hitchhiking. And it's just like, it's sort of a play on real life too, because there's a lot of people at that time, if you know anything about the Manson story at all, the Manson Tate LaBianca murder thing, like, there was a lot of people that were becoming mixed up in the family. Not in the family, but knew of people in the family or knew people, and they all said the same thing. You knew there was something wrong, but you didn't know what, and you couldn't put your finger on it, and you couldn't prove anything. And that's what he went through. You saw him play
Yeah.
that very feeling that people have complained about for many, many years. And you get to see it on screen for him to be like, something's wrong here, I'm gonna go check it out. And then he can't prove anything because even Mr. Spawn over there is going, nope, everything's fine.
Everything's good, yeah.
You know? So I like that scene because it does a connect. It's the only connector you have, really, other than him living next door.
I love that part. He goes in there and she's like, he's probably pretty wore out. I fucked his brains out this morning.
Yeah. I like how when he walks up there and he's like, I'm gonna come in there. Like, he's so calm about it. He's like, I'm gonna come in there. And this door isn't gonna stop me.
Yeah. And then she's like, flips it like with all that attitude. I was like, ooh, she's pissy.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in there and she's like, I want him to nap so we can watch our show together. I don't like it when he's tired and falls asleep during our show. And I'm like, and it makes you think like, this bitch is playing somebody. And then
Oh,
like,
for sure.
and then but like
that's
once
her
he gets
job. That is her job, is to fuck him and keep him happy.
yeah, and then once he gets in there though and realizes he's okay, it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
He's not okay. He's just as brainwashed as the rest of them.
Yeah.
He just don't know it.
That during his nap time is when they do certain things.
well, he's not brainwashed. He just knows he's got a young piece of ass that
Sure.
rides him whenever
You're
he
his
wants,
age
yeah.
and, blind. And,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, I'm saying they dangled a carrot in front of him and he took it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
it's funny because he was like, that redhead is like, what part of I'm fucking blind? Don't you understand? I don't know what fucking color her hair is.
Bruce Dern is great. I love that man.
Schwartz books Dalton to star in Sergio? Sure, Corbucci. Sure. Spaghetti, Western Nebraska, Jim. Booth accompanies Dalton to Italy for a 6-month film shoot. Dalton films 3 additional movies there and marries Italian Scarlett Francesca Capucci.
Capucci.
She was another good part of the movie. She wasn't in much of it, but
Mm-mm.
what little bit she was in, she was entertaining. She reminded me of, is it Sofia Vergara
Yeah.
from Modern Family? That's what she reminded me of.
Jeremiah
Oh,
hates her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Jeremiah
Shit.
hates her.
He does- I know,
That's
yeah.
like your Drew Barrymore.
I know. I love her, dude. I think
Every
she's
now and
great.
again I'll talk like her and he'll just be like,
I think she's great.
what's wrong with something like I have a dick in my mouth?
It sounds like I have a dick in my mouth.
You ever seen that? That's her mean tweet or whatever. Like, she talks like she has a dick in her mouth, and she that's what she's reading, and then she looks up and goes, "What's wrong with having a dick in my mouth?"
Yeah. And then she was married to Joe Manganiello, dude. And I was like, that right there is a great couple. And then they split up, and I'm like, damn.
Doesn't that make you angry?
It does. It makes me
I
angry.
hate it when people do that.
All right. Before returning to the U.S., Dalton tells Booth that he can no longer afford to pay him, which Booth amicably understands. Returning to Los Angeles on August 8th, 1969, Dalton and Booth go out drinking to commemorate their time together. Returning to Dalton's house, Booth smokes an LSD-laced cigarette and takes Brandy for a walk while Dalton makes margaritas. Manson's followers, Tex, Sadie, Katie, and Flower Child, arrive to murder the Tate House occupants. Hearing a car's loud muffler, and enraged Dalton orders the group off the private street. They retreat, then start arguing until Katie suddenly realizes that they just encountered Rick Dalton.
I love that he comes out.
Idol.
I love that he comes out flipping out on him. Fucking hippies, get the fuck off my street! Like, this dude really hates hippies.
Yeah, he does.
Like, really hates hippies. But like, hippies are like the main antagonist in this movie. Like, it's not like Nazis or anything. It's fucking hippie. Like, the hippies were like, but that's how it was in the 60s, man.
Isn't that crazy,
People
though?
fucking hated hippies.
Because
Yeah,
if
they do.
you meet hippies, right? Just like hippies from that era, or like even people that call themselves hippies today.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to convince them to murder somebody?
You're right. They're like, no, man.
Exactly.
Life is precious,
So
dude.
you wonder exactly how long and what happened on that fucking ranch.
Right, yeah.
You know?
That's insane because, like, the sad part is, like,
Well,
yeah.
that's why he targeted runaways and stuff, though.
Yeah.
Because then you look at, like, the cult behavior, right?
Yep.
And that's absolutely
And there
what
were
it
a
was.
lot of runaways in the 60s and early 70s.
All congregating to California.
Especially in California. Like, that's where they all were. So it was probably
San Francisco
easy.
was mecca to them.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was probably easy for them to do that, you know? So, but, yeah, what a fucking... Like, I couldn't believe, like, I didn't realize until the end of the movie, like, holy shit. Like, your main antagonist here are hippies. Like, they
You
make
look
hippies out to be like Nazis in this fucking movie.
I feel like Manson's cult did a lot more to this country than just kill a few people. And I'm not downgrading their lives. Please don't take that as such. But like, they killed an entire subculture
Yeah.
because now hippie's a dirty word,
Mhm.
right? And then, not that it was a great word then, but like, after a while, people started to be like, yeah, they're right. Blah, 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 Vietnam War's terrible, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But like, it's become a dirty word because of what they did.
Yeah.
It's like the Tibetan good luck charm in Nazis.
But I wouldn't even call it like, that's the thing though, is I wouldn't call these people hippies. They're just cultists. Just like any other cult before them. Every cult comes off as a sort of hippie sort of settlement. They all come off like that, like peace, love, and all this warming
that's
shit.
part of the problem,
but
right?
like,
because
but then
all cults,
then you get like this.
They all start with that same.
Yep.
This
and then
is the right place
eventually
for you.
somebody's drinking the Kool-Aid. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
this is the right place for you.
Yeah.
We'll be better to you than your parents. Blah blah. It was the perfect environment for that to happen because all these kids are running away and everything. But another thing that it really brought home to me is it's sort of like this death of this innocence of America, and it's perfectly encapsulated in this. That girl you see hitchhiking.
Yeah.
She's hitchhiking. She gets in some stranger's car.
Dude, that girl was hot though.
I cannot imagine doing that today. And it's because you hear about, you heard about in the 70s, all of those serial killers and stuff coming out of California.
Especially,
after all of this.
Yeah, the fucking, the Night Strangler or whatever the fuck. Night Stalker.
The Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And that's, effectively, with the 60s died the hippie era, hippie love, free love, peace, all that stuff. That died. And our innocence died a little bit because people couldn't hitchhike anymore. I'm not blaming that on the Mansons, but you saw all of these things happening.
Well, it wasn't
like
just
in
the Mansons
successions.
anyway. It was
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Ted
it happens
Bundy
in, like,
was doing
succession.
it.
You see this
Yeah.
happen here with these guys, and it was like America went crazy for a while.
In the 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
70s was a dangerous fucking time,
Yeah.
dude. It really
Yeah.
was.
It was just
Especially
this-
everybody coming back from the Vietnam War and everything like that. Like, it got really bad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
goddamn. I'm glad.
Just an observation, I guess.
I'm glad
I was struck by it when I seen that girl hitchhiking, and I'm like, man,
the
that all
culture of
died. It all
yeah.
died then.
Yeah, it really
It
did.
all just died.
Now, if you hitchhike, you're like, what are you doing? Are you
Mhm.
fucking idiot? Like, there's.
Get in my car. I'm the only safe one. No,
Yeah.
ma'am. No,
Not
thank you.
even that, but like whenever I see people on the side of the road, I'm like, shh. If I pull over, they're gonna stab me.
Yeah, you've got to.
Like,
you've got to either way.
I'm not gonna stab them. They're gonna stab me.
Right, you've got it either way.
You ever seen The Hitcher?
Motherfucker.
Watch either one, the old one or the remake. They're both great.
Hitchhiker?
The
It's just
Hitcher.
called The Hitcher.
The Hitcher.
Yeah.
I think it was based on a short story or something. But
They're both good.
Yeah.
The remake and the original.
talk about tension building.
Mm-hmm.
Sadie rationalizes that the type of TV shows and movies that Dalton starred in taught them to murder. Therefore, they should change their plan.
Crazy bitch.
The four decide to instead kill Dalton. Flower Child has second thoughts and, pretending to fetch a weapon in the car, drives off, deserting them. She was smart.
Yeah. I don't know about this, guys. I think I forgot my knife. Can I have the keys?
Yeah, that was based on, was it Linda Kasabian? I think. I could be wrong though.
Did one of them actually leave?
No, she had to stay in the car.
Oh.
She didn't actually leave. She just stayed in the car. Tex told her to stay in the car and keep an eye out. So, that's what she did.
They all got out like years later, didn't they?
No.
Are they still in?
Tex Manson obviously died in there. I think both girls are still in there.
No, Sadie died.
She died.
Brain cancer.
Yep, you're right. And I think that the other one is still in there. Was it Linda? That's gonna bother me.
Yeah, because I know Manson was.
I know
I looked him up.
I do know that Linda Kasabian turned state evidence. Like she was the one that was testifying against all of them.
The one that stayed in the car?
Yeah.
So they probably let her out then.
Well, they probably used her as leverage, right? Because she did the least amount of harm. So they're leveraging who's the best option for us.
Tex
Hey,
might have
you
got
only
the
sat in
fucking
the
chair.
car. We're only going to give you this because you didn't actually kill anybody. Tell us what happened.
Right.
Like I said, Tex probably got the chair.
I remember whenever Manson was up for parole, man, and people were like freaking out. Like, dude, if they let him out, like he wouldn't survive.
No,
outside of prison.
he'd been got.
Somebody would kill him.
Yeah.
Like he's just too infamous.
Oh, she died in 2023, Linda Kasabian. But she had kids and a husband. So she probably was the one that.
Could you imagine the life she had to live after that? Like,
Even her kids, dude.
yeah.
I wouldn't say who I was.
No,
No.
I changed my name and
Oh,
I
everything.
changed my look.
I'm sure she did.
She had an immunity. Became a pivotal prosecution witness in the trials that put Mr. Manson and 4 of his other followers in prison. Yeah, so she was the one based on Kasabian, and Kasabian turned state's evidence.
It's crazy.
Breaking into Dalton's house, they confront Booth. Tex aims his pistol at Booth, who, high on LSD, happily chats with the intruders, unsure if they are real. He then recognizes them from Spawn Ranch. When Tex cocks his pistol, Booth signals his dog Brandy to attack him. Sadie lunges at Booth with a knife, but he hurls a large dog food can that smashes her face.
Hold on.
He then,
Fuck your own face!
Perfect.
Yep, that's exactly what that was.
She started screaming right after it hit her too.
But dude,
That was like
her fucking nose was flat.
Wow, it was
Yeah.
fucking
She
bad.
could bite a wall.
But look at the size of that can, though, and how heavy it probably was. And he threw it hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That bitch could bite a wall after that. Like
Yeah.
her fucking face was flat.
Yeah, that was
man.
insane, dude.
from that point on, the screaming commenced
yeah.
I'd probably be
Oh.
screaming though too. To be fair,
the whole time.
no, maybe not
The
the
It
whole
whole.
reminds
time.
me a little bit
It's gotta make it
of
hurt worse.
Kill Bill
The
Volume
whole
3,
time.
Whenever what's her face eats it. Fucking,
Oh,
in
The redhead.
No. She's not-
I can see the death over and over.
yeah,
Like I see it.
What's her name? It's not Copperhead.
Wait, what?
The one girl, the fuck is her name?
God.
Daryl Hannah is the actress when she died, and she's like flailing around in the bathroom after she takes her other eye out in Kill Bill 2.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
Her name's Daryl Hannah.
Yeah.
Is her real name.
God,
I don't know her name in the movie. I can't remember.
yeah, I can't remember her name in the movie either. But I knew who you
Yeah,
were
but
talking
that
about.
part where she takes her eye out, I was like, that's a Quentin Tarantino thing. That's the way she's flailing around all over the bathroom, and like that's what that reminds me of. Is
Mhm.
is that right there? So.
Yeah.
All right. He then has Brandy attack Sadie, and enraged Capucci expertly punches Katie and then runs off screaming. Tex tries attacking Booth with a knife, but Booth easily kills him with hand combat. Katie tackles Booth, stabbing
down
his
the knife
hip.
like in his fucking
Yeah.
thigh.
He didn't fucking kill that guy with hand combat. He straight kicked his fucking face in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He put his boot through his face.
yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Booth repeatedly slams Katie's face against the walls and fireplace.
Yes.
It
killing
was
her.
fucking hilarious.
Ouch.
Yeah, all over the place, dude. Every single wall she hit.
Her face print was on every wall.
If you had to pick any one of theirs demise, which one would you pick?
To die?
Just getting my
Probably
face
the
kicked in.
dude. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Tex.
it
I'm
was
taking
quick.
Texas all day
Yeah.
long.
Tex,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think I'd take his.
Them girls got it bad.
They did. They got it really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Especially the
Yeah.
girl who got torched. But then again, she could just went underwater.
Right? That's what I'm saying. He pulls out a fucking.
Don't get me
flamethrower.
wrong.
I'm getting under the water.
Don't get me wrong. You come back out of the water, you're probably going to get torched again. But at least you have a chance.
Not even
I have
that, but,
my
like, she
salvation
didn't-
right here.
Yeah.
She didn't have to run into the pool at all. Like, that hurt. I know that did. That
Well, she ran through the plate or through the glass window, which didn't help things. But
right, all them cuts.
she couldn't really see. Like at that point in time, honey, just sit down, shut up, and wait for the cops to show up.
Yeah. No point in doing anything now. As as Brandy mauls Sadie, she fires Tex's gun and Booth falls to the floor unconscious. Blinded and screeching, Sadie crashes through a plate glass window and falls into the outdoor pool, relaxing in the water while listening to music with headphones. Dalton has been oblivious to the indoor events. As
Which is
Sadie
pretty
thrashes
funny.
in the water, screaming and wildly firing the pistol, Dalton retrieves a
Can you
flamethrower.
imagine how scared you would be after seeing just some random like screaming girl coming out with bloody all face?
Oh yeah, that definitely is grounds for grabbing a flamethrower if you have one. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, but I'd be just
But she's
like,
in the pool, man. Like I don't know.
A functional prop retained from an earlier film. He incinerates Sadie in the pool. Police arrive as Booth regains consciousness. Dalton wants to accompany him to the hospital, but Booth insists he wait until the next day. Sebring comes down the Tate driveway to see what happened. After Dalton explains, Tate heard over the security intercom and invites Dalton to the house. The end.
The end. Sharon
The
lived.
end. Sharon lives. Oh,
To
what a crazy
eventually-
fucking movie.
Divorced Roman Polanski for being a chode.
Yeah, no shit. That dude was a chode, though. All right, so let's. You guys probably need to cover anything, do you? Not really.
Nope, I'm good.
No. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get into rating this motherfucker.
Let's go this bitch.
All right, Madison. What did you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I was very bored. I'm not gonna lie. For a long time until people started getting their faces bashed in. I was not
You're like, yeah!
entertained.
This is not a movie for a 17-year-old girl.
No, I was,
I was not
kinda laying there
entertained.
for a while until they started breaking in the house, and then I sat up a little bit more.
You're like, what? Violence?
You
I'm
kept
awake.
asking me like, how much
up.
time is left in this movie, and I'm like,
Cause it felt like it was going on forever too, dude.
You know, I kept checking my watch too. It's cool.
it is a long.
But I have
fucking
seen
movie.
it.
Brad Pitt passed away. I'm awake. I'm asleep. I'm awake.
I'm dead.
It was alright though, for what it was. I'm just gonna give it a 5 and leave it at that.
It's right in the middle. Like, it might be good to me one day.
That says she can't find fault with it because
Meh.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
She just
But she's
doesn't personally
bored.
care
Yeah, she
for
doesn't
it.
care for it.
It's a meh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
For me, I like this movie. It's not Quentin Tarantino's best, but it's still a good movie. As much as you hate Rick Dalton, I love Rick Dalton because it shows what actors are like.
I know why he's in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not disillusioned by it. I understand that
You just
without
don't
that
like him
dynamic,
personally.
yeah, without that dynamic, the movie doesn't work as well.
Right.
I am 100% on board for that. I just can't stand people like him in real
Right.
life. So watching it on TV is not much better for me.
I think Leonardo DiCaprio does great in this movie. He does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brad Pitt's character this has got to be one of the easiest characters for him to play. Because it felt like it just came so naturally to him to be able to play this character. Just be chill, laid back, punch a few people. You know what I mean? Like,
The one part that I love the part, but I hate what he did with Bruce Lee. It pisses me off, if I'm being honest.
yeah,
But I do like that scene.
I do like the
because
scene.
I mean, again, I hate what he did with Bruce Lee, but like every time I watch this scene, I have the same thought. It's when he picks him up and throws him into that fucking car, and then he gets up like, dude, stay down. You got thrown into a car.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but 1960s car, all metal, no fiberglass. Lay down.
Yeah, he flew pretty hard into that car.
He dented the car.
Your body.
With his body.
It wasn't even like a small dent. It was like he
There was
bashed
a
in the whole side
Bruce
of the car.
Lee-sized dent.
Yeah,
Your body is imprinted
I
in
can
the
see
car.
his glasses
Yeah.
in
It
the
was
dent.
pretty gnarly. But the movie itself is really good. I think that, dude, there are so many fucking people in this movie. And this movie automatically gets half a point just because it has Danielle Harris in it. Even if she's only in it for about 20 seconds, I don't care. Because I love Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris, she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen
I
in my life.
100% agree with that.
Like I've had the hots for her since I was like 16. Like she is just the most gorgeous woman I think I've ever seen
It's
in my
those
life.
eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't see her acting very often.
She does a lot of low budget stuff,
Yeah.
mostly.
Hatchet.
Hatchet,
That's a good one.
Yeah. But she's been in a lot of stuff. She does a podcast with What's Her Face.
I've listened to a few of those episodes.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. But she's a very down to earth,
Yeah.
cool ass chick. But anyway,
How do you spell Danielle?
Danielle.
Like Daniel with an E on the end.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's two L's.
there's 2 L's.
Yeah.
Not always. I'm just saying sometimes.
She's alright.
You don't know anything. Anyway,
Eyes are a little uneven.
I like that though.
Okay.
Anyway, the movie's good. I love there isn't much of a story to this, much of a plot. Mostly just following 2 guys, but there's a lot of good scenes in here to be had. Like the scene where they're filming the Western. I love that scene with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I like that.
I very much like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Crystal knows about
That your hall pass.
No, I don't think it would be, but she's like, she knows, like,
It's Chris
your
Hemsworth.
girl.
You've only got one,
Why
right?
is her left eye always shut?
It's just how she smiles. I don't know. That woman
She's
is
not-
gorgeous. I don't care. And she's only like, I think 4 years older than me.
Hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah, she's not much older. Yeah, she's not.
But anyway,
I get it whenever she's younger, but not now.
what, because she's a older woman now?
Yeah, because she's old.
She's not old.
And
She's just
wrinkled.
older.
She's not old.
Whatever. Just shut your mouth.
Dude, she's like my age.
No,
Call me
she's,
old
like,
and wrinkly?
older than him, so
I'm older than him
by how much?
by like like a year or
it
something.
doesn't count then.
Anyway, so I don't even know where I was going with this.
Daniel Harris.
I like a lot of the
got
old
it at half a
music in
point.
it. I like some of the old movie references. Even though I don't get most of them because I didn't watch a lot of the movies that are referenced in the movie. Aside from that, I love all the cameos. There's a fuckload of people in this movie, like an ass load, like
Al Pacino.
ridiculous. Yeah, Al Pacino, fucking Emil Hirsch. They're all kinds of people. Like, I don't even know why they're here, honestly.
Well, Emil Hirsch played.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know why he needed to employ so many famous actors to do.
Because it's Quentin
It's
Tarantino.
Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino, I guess. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it for fucking free. if
What's
it
the
means-
budget for extras? $4 billion.
Yeah, right.
Who are we having for extras? Well, Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
The chick from You.
Well, him and
like
so Daniel Harris and him already have a a friendly relationship anyway.
No, I get that.
So,
I was just making a joke.
I think it's him calling in favors,
we
like,
need
hey,
only A-list actors.
yeah.
For the,
I think it was
for the
him
small
saying,
ones.
just
Yep.
calling people up like that. He knows, like, hey, you want to be in my movie for about 3 minutes? Yeah, sure. Because these actors were all like, if I do this, maybe I could get to be in the next movie. Because you know how he is. He likes to reuse his actors.
Oh, that's very true. You make an impression.
Uh-huh. So,
Anyway.
for me, I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'm just going to give it a 7.5. I think that's about where I stay in at it. So, it's a good movie. It's not his best, like I said. It's not Kill Bill. It's not Pulp Fiction. It's not, Inglourious Bastards. It's not that. It's not as good as those.
Can you give negative scores? No, just
Negative 17. No. There's a lot to be said for the movie, but everything that you can say are things that you've come to expect out of Tarantino. Cinematography is amazing. The acting is amazing, especially by Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, but they're already phenomenal actors. So I will give it credit where credit's due. There's lots of things that I like. The one shot in this movie that I think is amazing. Like, it always affects me somehow, and I don't know why. But it's when you see Cliff walking away with the dog in the last 10 minutes of the movie or whatever. He's walking away with the dog to smoke that cigarette and take the dog for a walk. And at the same time, you see that car rolling up, knowing exactly what they're there to do.
Yeah.
And it's like this duality thing you're seeing on screen. You're seeing who's going to be the hero. You're seeing him walk in one direction, the bad guys come in another. And it's just kind of like one of those shots that just line up what's going to happen next.
Yep.
And I always like that shot. I will give Quentin Tarantino all the props in the world about his craft. He is an amazing director, and he can do amazing things.
It's because he understands movies.
Yeah.
He before he was a director or anything like that,
he does his fucking homework.
He worked in a fucking movie store. But like I said, movies are his life. That's what he breathes.
Yep. He really sets the stage well with the music. I didn't know all of it or some of it, but even what I didn't know set the stage for what was happening on screen. Yep. It's very good. Now,
the set designs in this are fucking amazing. It looked like 1969 in this movie. Whereas with other movies, you don't feel it as much. You know what I mean? But in this movie, it looks like 1969. Like the old cars, not even just the cars, but the settings in the back, all the stores and shit, the storefronts, everything looks like 1969.
Yeah. The
roads, the lights, everything. Whereas a lot of movies nowadays, you're like, a lot of this looks a little too modern.
You felt like you were in the 60s watching it. It wasn't just, the look of the movie. Or,
exactly.
You felt 1960 in this movie.
Yeah.
You felt that era coming out on the screen.
Yep.
He's very good at that. His translation to screen is unmatched. But the first time I watched this, like I said, the only thing I had a problem with was the Cliff and Rick scenario. But this time I watched it, and I feel like the plot, the story, is so detached. It makes absolutely no sense other than him living next door.
Yeah.
That there's a connection between the two parties. So you're watching this movie the whole time, watching these dueling lives, and you don't even see Sharon that much. It's like Napoleon Dynamite for Tarantino cocksuckers. It's just, there's nothing happening on screen at any given time that's going to lend to the actual thing you want to see going on, and that has to do with Sharon Tate and the...
Did you just call her Sharon Taint?
Yeah, she did.
No, I'm actually getting a cold. Thank you very much.
So it is Sharon Taint.
Yeah, it's Sharon Tate. No, what happened there is just, it's like a throwaway thing.
Yeah.
It's not, and so then you're left thinking, well, why did I just watch 2 hours, 2.5 hours actually?
It was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or some shit.
This guy whining and crying about his dying career, and then at the end of the movie, we have this great action sequence that leads to him going to her house, but we still have no resolution to the thing that we've just spent 2.5 minutes of our lives, or 2.5 hours of our lives on. We're just, okay, that's, yay. So you get 10 minutes of great, stuff happening on screen, and the rest of the time it's just a washed out actor crying. And there's just no connection to the two stories that is satisfactory to me, in my opinion. I'm huge on plot. I'm huge on story. It's got to make sense, especially from somebody like Quentin Tarantino. So where I give him props are for all the things that we've come to expect. So I can't give him a lot of props because that's your status quo, dude. That's like your baseline. You did your baseline, and then the story went like this. So it's a 4 from me.
Oh, damn, that was low.
It's lower because it's Quentin Tarantino.
Right. What about you, Eric?
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I kind of enjoyed the movie. I liked how things played out. I mean, I liked how
I did like that he changed the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he...
The first time he ever did that was in Inglourious Basterds, and I was like, and it threw me for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know where to take this movie or where this movie was going to go with the Sharon Tate stuff and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, well, she might die at the end. But then again, knowing Inglourious Basterds. So that was all like...
I think it would have been cool that they're neighbors and they happen to meet or something, and they're at a party when this goes on. I mean, if you're going to change history, at least connect your two main parties.
Right.
But anyways, I enjoyed how things played out in the movie. I enjoyed the relationship between Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth. Didn't really care for how they portrayed Bruce Lee. No, I didn't like
Not
that.
at all. That's another thing that brought it down for me.
Yeah. No, I didn't really like how they, kind of dragged out the whole Rick Dalton, boo-hoo, my
Especially when
career
it
is
lends
drowning.
nothing to the end.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, it kind of leads to him kind of...
Yeah, he gets to come up to the house finally.
Yeah.
But is that going to help him or hurt him, or what do we, you spent 2.5 hours with the guy. I expect resolution to his story. We didn't get that. You gotta, maybe.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the wraparound.
You're absolutely allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I get where you're
So
what you're
I'm kind of
But I
saying,
can't
like
like
I said,
the Joker.
No,
not that one.
I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm gonna put a 6.5 on this for me.
Okay, so we're at a 5.75.
Okay. I bet the critics liked it more.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? Critics.
Critics, oh man, they're fucking 90.
79.
79's a little high. I'm going to go 85.
86.
Damn, yeah. See, I knew they'd like it, but I knew they were going to love it.
You said 79 was a little high.
Yeah, you did.
No, I meant like 90 was a little high.
You said 79 was a little high.
Did I?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
I
You said it.
did.
That's why I was like, and then he went
And you
higher.
went higher. I was like, okay.
Audience.
Audience, I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to say 75.
62.
I bet it's lower, but not much lower. What'd you say?
75.
62.
I'm going to go 80.
80. 70%.
Damn.
Critics' consensus.
Should have $1 me.
I should have.
Thrillingly unrestrained yet solidly crafted, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood tempers Tarantino's provocative impulses with the clarity of a mature filmmaker's vision. Don't suck his cock too much. You know they do.
The Pac-Man.
Give us another movie.
Greg W.
This one with aliens.
Greg W. this year, January 5th of this year, found nothing funny about it. Fell asleep after giving it a good hour to impress. I like Pitt and DiCaprio, but this one stinks.
That wasn't supposed to be a comedy.
I know, that's why I thought.
Well, there's always comedy elements to every Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
Okay, but it's not supposed to be a comedy.
I don't think it's a comedy so much as you get a chuckle here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you've come to expect that out of his
The
movies,
more
too.
comedy out you get out of is when he punched a hippie.
Yeah.
Oh no,
That's about it.
Rex.
Or that.
Something dumber than that.
Something dumber than that.
Yeah,
that's definitely something dumber than that. This film had a great director, great actors. Oh, it's a 1-star. The Hollywood stamp of approval, great potential, but it had one fatal flaw. It was boring beyond belief. Scene after scene was crafted, but led absolutely nowhere. because there was no storyline. It was like, well, we'll figure it out once we get to shooting, like they did in Apocalypse Now. But unfortunately here, it just never happened. And then all the accolades by Hollywood insiders, it's like Beyonce being named as the best artist of the century by paid insiders.
Oh my god.
This one killed me. This is a verified review. Okay?
Verified.
Mm-hmm.
Feed, Fede. 1 star.
Fede? What?
That's his name. Fede.
It's Fede.
Okay.
Fede.
His
Yeah.
verified 1-star review. Boeing fell asleep while watching it. Boeing as in the airplane. I think they meant
But he was
boring.
verified.
He's verified.
But
It's
they
a
don't know how to
verified
spell.
retard.
Zahara B, 1.5 stars. I had high expectations because of the wonderful cast and Quentin Tarantino's work, but it was very
Wonderful cast. This is all of Hollywood is in this movie. Everybody in Hollywood is in this fucking movie. Like,
but it was very boring and the characters felt undeveloped.
except for Clint Booth and Rick Dalton. But I get what people are saying, like where the story, it seems like they would just film shit and then it didn't go anywhere. Like, I
Or it
get
was
what
like-
you're saying about that. Like, that
Yeah.
explanation makes sense, and why I would understand why people wouldn't like the movie, because
Yeah.
really the story doesn't go anywhere.
No.
It just leads up. All this that happens just leads up to what should have happened, what would have happened with Sharon Tate. Instead, it happened to them, and they overcame it. And to be honest with you, it's almost insulting, probably, because I don't
They
know.
changed.
It's just,
No, I get what you're
There's
saying.
nothing-
It's
there's
insulting from
nothing-
the perspective that you think, okay,
there's nothing
like-
that really leads up to it, and then it happens.
it just points out how much more unneeded, totally ridiculous, terrible her murder was, because the only reason they were there was because the place used to be owned by that Melcher guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, so go kill the people that live there now. What? You know? And then they go, oh, well, she's still not, like, that important to us because they just pissed us off, so we're going to go and kill these guys now. It's
It makes no sense. Yeah, logically, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
I just, yeah.
Because she's like that girl in the back seat's like trying to make up this reason to kill these people. And say, well, violence is the root cause, and we watch violence on TV, which he created on TV as an actor, and blah blah blah. Like, you're stretching, and you're really reaching for
Yeah.
a reason to kill these people.
Well, and I think for me, especially when I say what I say about the movie, it's because I have such respect for Quentin Tarantino as a director. I expect more. Your stories are usually just
Yeah,
spot on, and they always tell a good story. They tell an entertaining story. They tell coherent stories. This is just, here's this and then greatness. Like,
yeah,
we're
I didn't
gonna
understand.
drop the
Yeah,
plot
because
line
you're right.
completely.
Every movie, Pulp Fiction, has a like a complete wraparound story. Reservoir Dogs is a story. Kill Bill is a story. All these movies are stories. Like, they all, even if they're just wraparound stories, they're all connected in some way. Like Inglourious Basterds or Pulp Fiction. Whereas this movie is just kind of like, it's a bunch of sequences that go nowhere, and then you've got this big climax with the whole Sharon Tate, Charlie Manson bullshit, and you're like, well, how did we even get here? How did we get to this point? And I see where people don't like it, but I like the movie not for that reason, but for the reason that this is a Quentin Tarantino movie, and I got what I expected out of a Tarantino movie, which is great dialogue, great acting.
Fire.
You're missing the story.
Fire.
Though.
Fire, yeah.
You're
But-
missing the story. His movies are close to 10s.
And yeah, I get, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why it's a 7.5 for me.
yeah.
Ask me about these other movies of his. These are 9s, 9.5s. All of them. All his movies are, to me.
Yeah.
Because I fucking
That's
love
why
his
I
movies.
judged it more harshly.
Yeah. I did
Because
too. I
he
gave it a
knows
7.5.
He knows better.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So to call this as like,
He thinks it's his magnum opus.
yeah, and it's not. It's not.
Just an incredibly dull movie. It's like watching a conversation between two movie bores with short snippets of whatever they're waffling about. Yet again, the rule of Rotten Tomatoes applies. If the critics score it highly and the audience considerably lower, it's fundamentally a bad movie that only tedious movie buffs will enjoy for spurious reasons that don't involve entertainment.
Jesus, I
John
agree with that,
S.
actually. I do agree with that, because this movie is full of, if you don't know shit about movies, especially from the 60s, then you're not going to know any of the references or half the shit going on in this movie.
Right.
So.
Mostly masturbatory filler, boring interspliced with some great acting. 2 stars by The D.
The D.
Unwatchably dull and self-indulgent and overly hyped. Indulgent. Great casting, great acting, and well filmed, but so incredibly slow and boring with very little storyline. Would not recommend. I went out on a date night, and me and her were so bored we walked out. I've never walked out on a movie before. It's just so dull. Maybe interesting to those who know the area or story. Cannot recommend.
I think cutting a half hour off this movie would have helped it a lot.
Probably.
Yeah.
There was
It's
a lot of
way
filler.
too long. It's way too long. And yeah, there's a lot of filler.
I thought you guys would like this one because this is kind of what we've been saying this whole time. Boring, 2.5 hours of nothing, followed by 10 minutes of crazy to finish it off. Just kept watching and waiting for something to happen, for a reason to keep watching, but it never comes. If you feel the need to turn it off after 20 minutes, then just do it. Like the whole 2.5 hours of nothing and then 10 minutes of yeah! You know, it's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these, I usually were like, fuck you, man. But no, you're kind of right.
Yeah. I can't argue
There's
with
a lot
any
of things
these,
that I
really.
can't argue with. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a reason to not like the movie. It really is. So, because, like, the movie is just way too long. It's just, that's one gripe that I have with the movie itself. Like, I don't mind a 2-hour movie.
He could have done the same thing in an hour and a half.
I'd give him 2 hours. I could give him 2 hours. Because Quentin Tarantino
All right.
movies are 2-hour movies. Because of the dialogue. Dialogue takes up a lot of his movie. And I'm fine with that. But in this movie, some of that dialogue is drug out. Like, I don't mind the dialogue between him and the girl on the movie set. I don't mind the dialogue between him and Cliff. I don't mind a lot of that. I don't mind a lot of stuff in this movie, but some things are just really drug out. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know where. Like, the whole the scene at the very beginning, actually, between
Do we
him.
need to know all of Rick's Italian movies?
Right. Yeah.
Do we need a snippet of what they're about?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
what character he played?
There was a couple of instances where I did like what they did by, so like Cliff Booth, like he said, is what happened with you on the Green Hornet set. And then it quickly goes back to the Green Hornet set shows, and then it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, things that are contributing to the story. I
Yeah,
don't
you
have a problem
contributed to the story in a way that was quick, easy, entertaining,
with. Mhm.
and it wasn't too much. You know, what I mean?
And relevant to what we're.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it was entertaining. You know,
Yeah, no.
is that it?
Yep, that's all of them.
Alrighty then, let's do trivia.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
That's also me.
That's also Karen. She gets to read more.
Very rare for a Quentin Tarantino film, some scenes contained improvisation. Particularly when Rick Dalton forgets his lines when filming a Lancer and afterwards rants to himself privately in his trailer. Leonardo DiCaprio had a very difficult time playing the scene as Dalton rather than as how he himself would, especially since Dalton is supposed to be an actor of limited range. DiCaprio suggested that Dalton forget his lines mid-scene, ironically to help him stay in character as Dalton. The subsequent scene in the trailer was also unscripted, improvised. Brad Pitt also added the line, "You're fucking Rick Dalton, don't you forget that." Pitt based that line on an actor who told him the same thing when he was a budding actor in the early 90s. Donald Shorty Shea was a ranch hand employed by George Spahn. He had tried to warn Spahn about the dangerous nature of the Manson family. At some point, he was jumped and then killed, with various body parts being buried around the ranch. One of the killers was Steve Clem, Grogan the hippie who knives the tire and is confronted by Cliff. As he starts to change the tire, you can see a cowboy and a corral in the background. As Shorty was the only ranch hand at this time, this would have been him in the shot. His body was not found until 1977 when Clem agreed to show the police where the remains could be found.
I remember him too. I saw him in the background.
I did too. Sharon Tate visits a bookstore to pick up a copy of The Tests of the I don't know how to say it. The real Sharon Tate gave husband Roman Polanski a copy of the book while in Europe just before she returned to the U.S., saying that it would make a great film in which she herself would love to star. This was the last time Polanski saw Tate alive. He would later adapt the book as Tess, dedicated to his murdered wife. In an unprecedented film production move, a section of LA's Hollywood Freeway was completely shut down from 12 to 2 for a sequence populated with period cars. No VFX were used to create the sequence.
Yep.
That is a Tarantino thing.
Yep. I think that's great.
While scouting for locations, Quentin Tarantino visited Lee Van Cleef's house. While there, he noticed a giant poster of Van Cleef's face hanging in his garage. Tarantino thought this was both funny and strange and decided to give Rick Dalton the same thing in his driveway.
No.
I always wondered about that too. I'm like, how full of yourself are you, dude?
Yeah,
that you gotta park your car in front of your face.
Yeah. He's got to come and say, "You're Rick fucking Dalton."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cliff and Rick watch an episode of the FBI in which an army truck is hijacked. A producer went to a local source for film vehicles searching for a similar truck to recreate the scene, and to his surprise, he was taken to the actual truck used in the TV show. They cleaned it up, gave it a fresh coat of paint, and used it in this movie. Margot Robbie wears some of Sharon Tate's real jewelry provided by Tate's sister Deborah Tate. The real-life sister of Sharon Tate was so moved by Margot Robbie's portrayal of Tate that she claimed she cried real tears. I had a big wet patch of tears down the front of my shirt. It was like having my sister back again after 50 years. The cream Cadillac Brad Pitt drives also belongs to Michael Madsen. Sorry, I seen it above. It also appeared in Reservoir Dogs, driven by Madsen. Also, Pitt and Madsen both appeared in Thelma and Louise as the title characters' lovers. On Sunday night, Rick and Cliff sit down to watch Rick's episode of the FBI. The audience is later told that the episode is All the Streets Are Silent. That is a real episode of the television show, and the ensuing clip is the actual opening to that episode, with one important difference. Rick Dalton has been added into the place of the guest star villain Michael Murtaugh. In reality, the role of Murtaugh in this episode was played by Burt Reynolds, who was known for open-mouthed gum chewing, which is likely the reason why Rick and Cliff refer to the gum chewing as strong. Burt Reynolds was originally cast as George Spahn, the ranch owner, but he died before he was scheduled to shoot his scenes. Bruce Stern replaced him in that role. Additionally, the role of James Stacy was originally written for Bill Paxton, who unfortunately passed away while the script was being written. Paxton's role would instead go to Timothy Olyphant. As the Tate party enters the El Coyote restaurant for dinner, Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring discuss a movie premiere where they can see taking place further down Beverly Boulevard at an erotic movie theater. They have premieres for dirty movies, asks Sharon. The theater in question is the Eros, a real adult theater at the time. The building still exists, though it's now a repertory cinema called the New Beverly, and it's owned by Quentin Tarantino.
Go figure.
Yeah. In one scene, a framed issue of Mad magazine is visible in Dalton's apartment with a drawing of Dalton himself on the cover. Longtime Mad artist Tom Richmond was recruited to draw the cover as a tie-in with the movie. The October 2019 issue of Mad magazine was billed as a special Tarantino Time Warp issue, with a 1960s-style contents page, the first 12 pages in black and white, and a parody of Bounty Law and Rick Dalton on the front cover. Leonardo DiCaprio has said that he was starstruck to be on the set with one of his teenage idols, Luke Perry, a star he'd felt at the time was the new embodiment of James Dean. Leo was particularly delighted to be able to reminisce with Luke about the Hollywood of his youth and about where their career paths had taken each of them.
Well, it didn't take Luke Perry very far, because he wasn't acting much.
I still loved him, though. Everything I ever saw him in, I thought he was good.
Yeah.
One of the Italian films in which Rick stars is said to be directed by Antonio Margheriti. In Inglourious Basterds, Antonio Margheriti is the alias used by Donnie Donowitz to sneak into the premiere of Nation's Pride. During the mid-credits Red Apple tobacco commercial, Rick Dalton says, "Take a bite and feel all right." Quentin Tarantino previously used this phrase in his... That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it was in the screenplay for Dusk Till Dawn. It is spoken by Seth Gecko during that film's climactic fight, but was not included in the final cut. Quentin Tarantino did not approach Roman Polanski. He admitted at the press conference in Cannes, but Tarantino asked for and received help from Sharon Tate's sister, Deborah Tate, who is thanked in the credits. He also gave Deborah Tate a script to read early on and went to visit her in Santa Barbara and spent a weekend with her. She even came on set when the Bruin Theater in Westwood sequence was being shot. Bruce Lee's line about Cliff being pretty for a stuntman was suggested by Burt Reynolds during a script reading. Tarantino had said that had the line not been Burt's, it would have never made it into the film. Brad doesn't like characters pointing out how good looking he is, but because Burt suggested it, how could he say no to including it? In the movie, they show James Stacey leaving the set of Lancer on his motorcycle. On September 27, 1973, Stacey was taking his girlfriend Claire Cox for a ride on his motorcycle in the Hollywood Hills when a drunk driver struck them. Cox died and Stacey lost his left arm and leg. It's all those tie-ins with real life that are interesting to me. Quentin Tarantino told the crew that he wanted the Spawn movie ranch sequence to feel like the early scenes in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, particularly in terms of sound design and production design. Quentin Tarantino said he's worked on the screenplay for 5 years, considers the screenplay of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as probably his most personal. British-Chinese martial artist and choreographer Jay Schwang was offered the role of Bruce Lee, but turned it down, citing its lack of respect to Bruce Lee and his spirit. He previously had turned down the role of Bruce Lee in Birth of the Dragon for similar reasons. Shannon Lee, daughter of legend Bruce Lee, was most disappointed in the way her father was portrayed by actor Mike Moh after Quentin Tarantino's direction. She felt he was sorely misrepresented as an arrogant blowhard who was full of hot air. Retired NBA superstar Kareem Abdul-Jabbar strongly criticized the film for what he felt was an offensive and insulting portrayal of Bruce Lee. Abdul-Jabbar and Bruce Lee worked together on The Game of Death in 1974 and remained friends up until the time Lee died.
That's one tall, lanky motherfucker.
Yeah,
dude.
Shit.
That dude is just ridiculous. He's too long.
Quentin Tarantino stated on Joe Rogan's podcast that he thinks Shannon Lee has the right to be offended by the depiction of Bruce Lee because he is her father, but no one else does.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think that the whole depiction of Bruce Lee was done on purpose. I'm sure Quentin Tarantino did that on purpose. Because let's face it, everybody gloats really fucking hard about like Bruce Lee as a person, how great he is. But from what I understand, is that he had some anger issues, and he was kind of full of himself. In some ways, he was. But do I think that Quentin Tarantino had the right to do that? No, I don't. I don't think he had the right to do that. But at the same time, who gives a shit? It's a fucking movie.
I don't know. When you're making movies about real people, I think you have to be mindful of who they really were. I never met Bruce Lee. We weren't friends. So I can't say for sure how he was. But when you have universal agreement of who he was as a person, I think you have to be mindful of that.
I don't think his daughter really... I mean, I know she has a place to say, but at the same time, what did she know about her dad's personal, like, or his professional career? For all she knows, he was like that on set. Maybe he was a fucking, an arrogant prick towards people.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like when Wayne wanted to hug me when he found out who my mom was and said I loved her and all that, I wanted to be like, are you sure? It's like, I just always imagined my mom to be like this, like, do your fucking job, get out of my way, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And to hear somebody say that she was like, just the sweetest person, like outside of my life, it was like, it meant a lot, and it was just, so I guess to me, you do drive a good point that she wouldn't have known who he was in his professional life.
Right.
Not really. I guess I'm not basing it off of her. I'm basing it off of a universal. Like when you've got everybody in Hollywood saying, "Nah, dude, he was great."
But then again, what would Quentin Tarantino know either? You know what I mean? He wasn't there either.
I know that, and I'm not in Hollywood.
I'm saying like he wasn't there to be able to judge his professional.
I'm saying when you're making movies about real people, I think that you have to be mindful of
the people that were around.
And what their opinion of that person was. And if it's universal that he was liked, maybe don't make him a dick in your movie.
Yeah, true.
The movie makes the death of Cliff Booth's wife, Billy, ambiguous. Rick Dalton believes that her death was an accident, while most of the other characters in the film believe Cliff murdered her in cold blood and got away with it. In the Tarantino written novelization, though, it is confirmed that Cliff shot Billy intentionally because she was screaming at him and tried to slap him in the face. He got away with it because the police just accepted his false story that it was an accident, and Billy was so widely disliked that no one ever tried to reopen the case and get Cliff charged with murder. Skipping some of this because we are so low on time.
Yeah.
Cliff feeds his dog Wolf's Tooth dog food with the slogan "Good food for mean dogs." Specifically, he feeds it 1 can of rat flavor, 1 can of raccoon flavor. Other flavors seen in the cabinet are bird flavor and lizard flavor.
Yummy.
Yeah, right. I want to try that rat flavor.
You guys will like this because we all love Kurt Russell so much. In the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kurt Russell refuses to work with a stuntman due to his history of domestic violence. During the filming of Executive Decision in 1996, Russell refused to work with Steven Seagal after accusations began to surface of him abusing his wife. Because of this, Seagal was consequently fired and written out of the rest of the script by abruptly killing his character.
Yep. Which was so weird back then because, like, I remember watching that movie whenever I was young and like, oh man, Steven Seagal's in this movie. Because back then you're like, Steven Seagal movies were cool.
Right.
But whenever he dies, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the movie, you're like, what the fuck? I thought he was the hero of this movie.
What movie was that again?
Executive Decision. They like launch his ass out of a plane or some shit. He like dies, and I'm like, okay.
It's been a long time since I've...
Yeah,
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but like, yeah, he falls out of a plane or something and dies. And you're like, oh, okay, well, he's not the protagonist.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right.
A flashback shows Rick Dalton training to use a flamethrower and recoiling from the heat it generates. This was Leonardo DiCaprio's genuine reaction to the flamethrower. Tarantino thought it was funny and left it in the movie. That was funny.
It was funny. It's like, damn, that's hot. Well, it's a flamethrower.
No, he literally was like, can we do anything about this heat? That was literally his reaction. Like, no, it's flame, heat, flamethrower.
Can we do anything about this heat?
Yeah.
It's a flamethrower. Like,
the song the Manson's girls sing on their garbage run at the beginning of the film was an actual song that Charlie and the girls wrote. Several of Manson's songs, with and without the girls, were recorded as demos by Terry Melcher in his bid to possibly get Charlie a recording contract. They were not successful, nor were these recordings made public for many years, and were in fact not known to even exist for the most part. But the coming of the digital age eventually allowed them to be exhumed and widely disseminated. Manson's rage about the shelving of these tapes and Melcher's disappearance from Charlie's acquaintance was the point in the story that turned his family of peaceniks into mass murderers. When Sharon comes to the door and sees Charles Manson, the door represents the door on which the word pig would in real life be written in Sharon's blood. The actual door was taken and replaced in 1993 by a later resident of the Tate Polonsky house, Nine Inch Nails frontman Trent Reznor. It then served as the front door of what was once Reznor's recording studio on Magazine Street in New Orleans. It is now owned by Chris Moore, a collector of rarities and oddities.
of course Trent Reznor would do that.
Yeah. Tex tells the girls to split up afterwards and find their own ways back. For the LaBianca murders, Manson did the driving, then left them behind with the same instructions. That's it.
All right, well, that's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Once Upon a Time on this podcast.
Hey, we still did it in less time than the movie took, and I feel like it was more...
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
I stayed awake the whole time.
That's
That
fair.
counts for something too.
Although it'd be very uncomfortable.
I want
try
to see the
fall
movie
asleep
before you
on
read
it.
it.
So my butt hurts. This chair is not it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit.
You gotta grab one.
Shut up.
Might have dodged a bullet there.
I mean,
Oh, I should have kept that one out.
Oh no,
Romero
we gotta pick it again.
dude.
Okay.
We're not going to do it.
I don't trust you to laugh and have your hand on that. I'm moving my
It was a
hand.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Let's do it, man.
Goddamn, like, I can't believe how much we pull those fucking movies, man. It's
This
insane.
shit.
I mean,
I don't know. It's RoboCop. Probably not, huh?
I don't know.
We're trying to do a
This is your
90s
gig,
it would
man.
be a '90s.
I know, but
It'd be better to just pick one.
I know that's what I'm thinking. I was trying to be legit, pull it out of the box. We got two of them here.
Okay.
Three of them.
It's a 2 for 3.
I got three for.
It's a threesome.
No. Okay. Oh, fuck me. Karen's like, here we go.
There's got to be one 90s movie there.
You...
Oh,
No.
I can take that one out. We've already done
What is it?
it. Stir of Echoes.
Bear
Oh.
with us, people.
City Slickers? Is that a 90s movie?
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
it is.
What else is there?
I'll put that as a maybe.
91.
City Slickers. I ain't seen that movie in forever.
It's been a long time.
Princess Bride?
Oh,
That's
I
a
love that
90s
movie.
movie.
I haven't seen
Is that
that
a 90s
movie
movie?
since I was like 11. Can we watch Princess Bride?
Mm.
That's the one with.
Oh my good lord, I fucking hate you. Candyman?
That's the movie with Rick Moranis in it,
Yeah,
right?
no, Princess Bride's a 1987 movie.
It counts.
Rick Moranis ain't in it.
Oh, not the movie I'm thinking about then.
Die
What
Hard?
is that movie called?
Die Hard
Was
is...
it
No.
84?
That'd be the fourth one.
Wait, what am I thinking about then?
That's an 80s movie.
Princess-
That's Die Hard.
The Raid? What's that?
No, it's not.
Die Hard.
Jesus.
No, that's not man.
Let's just go
City
with.
Slickers and
City...
Candyman.
Rick Moranis is in this movie.
And what?
Princess Bride.
Rick Moranis is not in
Yes,
the Princess
he
Bride.
is.
When
He
is he in?
poisons the prince.
That's not Rick
That's not
Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Was that not Rick Moranis?
No.
Who was that?
No, ma'am.
No.
Who was that?
I don't know
I
his
was gonna
name.
let
He's
you
that little
know.
short, bald guy.
Yeah, that's not Rick
just-
Moranis.
It's not Rick
Who
Moranis.
is that?
Yeah, which one? I still have to.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys a choice instead. We'll do City Slickers or Three Amigos.
Princess Bride.
I know it's in there. It's in the box.
I don't care. I don't remember City Slickers at all. I've seen it. I don't remember it at all.
Which one?
Princess Bride.
Don't ask me.
Let's put it to a vote. Princess Bride is an 80s movie. Calm down.
It's
So it's
1987.
close enough to the 90s, though.
It's not.
It is.
It's
And it
not
has a
the
good
90s.
following.
What do you guys think? Which one? Come on.
Jesus Christ.
Three Amigos.
I'll stick with my lineage.
Is that what you want?
I don't remember.
Hear me?
I don't remember City Slickers like at all.
Hear me, Dad?
I don't
But I'm not
either.
going to argue about movies. I'll watch whatever.
Yeah, I'll watch whatever too. So, which one do you want, Eric?
These are Three Amigos.
Three Amigos?
I will stick with my lineage.
Whatever. We're doing Three Amigos.
That's what I said.
That
Said
was
my-
City Slickers? Is that what that one is?
No, Stir of Echoes.
Oh, okay.
I
All
put
right.
City Slickers back in there.
All right. Don't forget socials and shit.
Yeah.
Next week we're gonna do Three Amigos. Who else in that? Chevy Chase,
Steve
That's-
Martin.
Steve Martin,
That's not even...
and
Hold on.
Martin Short.
Three Amigos isn't a 90s movie either.
Oh.
It isn't?
I think
Wallace
it was.
Shawn
That's why I
was
put
that
it back
guy's
in there.
name.
It's not. That's
Hear me?
1986.
It
Oh,
isn't Wallace Shawn. Is that who that
Yeah,
was?
Wallace
Yeah.
Shawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Three Amigos is 1986.
all right. Yeah. Well, we don't have to do Three Amigos either.
So
City Slickers was the
City
other one.
Slickers it is. A movie I haven't seen in probably
I do not remember City Slickers.
30 years.
I don't remember City Slickers. I mean, I know I've seen it.
I don't even remember. I know it's got
Billy
damn,
Crystal.
Billy Crystal,
Daniel
and
Stern.
Daniel Stern.
Jake Gyllenhaal
yep.
as a little guy.
Yeah. And other than that, I have no fucking
Bruno
clue.
Kirby.
At least, you know, I want to get more into the 90s movies. I feel like it's more of what people want to see. People don't care about newer movies as much as they do older movies, especially people who watch watch and listen to podcasts. They want to hear more about the movies that they grew up watching. And most of our demographic is our age group. That's what we grew up watching, was movies in the 90s. So I think that we need to lean more into that rather than a lot of... I mean, we can still keep the movies that we have and things like that, but we
I
need
don't
to
really
lean.
know what our demographic is.
The Sandlot.
The Sandlot is one of them.
I already did that.
Little Giants.
Did we not?
Movies like that.
Little Giants. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
We just watched that not
and
too
it's
long
so
ago.
funny because whenever I ask people, what would you want to hear about? They're like, and they mention movies like that, movies from the 90s. I want to hear about this movie. I want to hear about the movie. Like Dutch. Dutch is one of our movies that like people
Went
don't know
nuts.
shit about, and they went nuts over it. I'm like, I can't believe people actually remember this movie. You know what I mean? But it's a great Thanksgiving movie. You know, it's one of very few Thanksgiving movies.
We should throw in like an obscure 90s movie that nobody's ever heard of, like once a month.
I'm good with that. I think we
that'd be
should do
kind of
that.
Fun.
I think we should throw in a 90s movie once a month just to kind of rattle the cage a little bit and see what happens. I'm good with that idea.
The Little
honestly.
Giant should be the next one.
Well, I mean, we can pull it from the box and just take it out of the box, or whatever.
No.
But I think throwing a 90s movie in there once a month is a good idea. Hell, if we did it every other week, it wouldn't bother me. Because there's still just as many good movies from the 90s, horror, comedy, all that just alike, as there is during any other era. So
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
See where we land.
So next week we're gonna do City Slickers, which I haven't seen since I was a little kid. Honestly,
Like I said,
I don't even remember most
Joe's
of the movie.
Apartment.
Joe's Apartment.
Oh man, Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Joe's
Bushwhacked.
Apartment. It's all
Bushwhacked
about
is a good one.
I've never seen that
You
one.
never seen it?
I don't think so.
You gotta suck the venom out of his buddy's ass.
Okay, maybe I have seen that. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Take it, terrifying.
I think that was Bushwhacked, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or was it City Slickers that was in it? It might have been. I think it was Bushwhacked.
Yeah, Bushwhacked. Yeah,
I think it was Bushwhacked.
You guys,
You guys were gonna fuck
you guys
that.
suck it out my ass.
You guys- good stuff. See, this is stuff with comedy gold, man. Like they didn't like. I think that the golden era for movies was the '90s, man. The '90s did the
Listen,
best movies.
Well, comedy-wise, 100% for sure. I mean, because you've got, the Rick Moranis's and the Chevy Chases and the Steve Martins, Martin Short, like all of these like golden age
Late
of
80s.
comedy. Late
From
80s
like
and-
85, 84, 85, all the way up to like 96
Mhm.
is like, that's like the golden age of movies right there for me. That was
Comedy.
Comedies for
Yeah.
sure, because you had those great comedians and they were all going at this time.
Richard Pryor.
Although he was a more 80s, 70s.
He's definitely
Still-
more 70s, 80s.
Yeah, it was still fucking.
But Richard Pryor was
hilarious.
fucking hilarious, dude.
Wonder Wheel.
There's a lot of movies, but there's a lot of movies that we could dive into with the 80s too. But I just feel like those 90s movies are like just what people are really, really looking for.
Yeah, we can go for
So.
nostalgia on here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck it. We're
The
watching
Princess Bride
movies.
is nostalgia.
Yeah, but The Princess Bride is also one of the most nostalgic movies of all time. People talk about it all the time.
And once
I
upon the
never hear
Deadpool, that's
anybody.
the framework for the
Yeah,
movie.
We'll get there.
we'll get
It'll
there.
happen.
I got excited, you guys. I haven't seen that movie since.
Actually, we should probably let her start picking movies because she's not going to be on here for too much.
Yeah,
longer.
we'll make sure that happens.
It'll happen before you leave. Just like the other two Ninja Turtle movies. All right, next week, City Slickers. Don't forget to
Am I
check out
back
them
in?
socials.
You're back in.
Yes.
You're back.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
You guys have a wonderful week.